dreadful face of failure.
Okay, fellas? Hey, fellas, this is what you work all season for. This is why you lift all them weights.
There was a fighting heart under the ribs of defeat.
Never give up, baby. Never give up.
Never give up. No three words are more appropriate to the game. Harvard against Yale. The loser is either denied the Ivy title or the role of spoiler. When the young men of Harvard and Yale come down this tunnel, they are playing for a lifetime memory. For Yale quarterback Joe Wallen, it doesn't matter that he broke 16 Bulldog records. Today he needs to break the Crimson defense. For Harvard linebacker Isaiah Kazavensky, being the best linebacker in Harvard history means nothing. Beating Yale means everything. As the Ivy League showcases a football game that is much more. And it's coming to you exclusively on DirecTV Sports. Ideal playing conditions at the Yale Bowl in New Haven, Connecticut. It is the 116th renewal of Harvard and the Yale Bulldogs. The game in college football when you talk about rivalries. And again, today is Rivalry Saturday. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Randy Rosenblum, set to call the play-by-play. Harvard comes in as the underdog. The Crimson is 5-4. But guess what? The 4 losses by a total of 15 points. With a little bit of luck, they could be much better than that and maybe have a shot at the title. Yale is looking for at least a share of the championship. They are 8-1. Quite a roll for the Bulldogs. They have captured their last 8 in succession. And in fact, Yale has won the title in 69, 79, 89, and folks around here feel 99 is going to add to that 10-year list. Every 10 years, they seem to win the championship. We work with Dan Jiggets, great performer at Harvard. You played in 3 of these games. And Dan, you know there's mutual respect for Harvard and Yale.
Oh, absolutely, Randy. Even after you finish college and you're out in the workday world, if you will, everybody understands what a commitment it took to play here in the Ivy League, and also what a wonderful opportunity it was to play in this league.
When you take a look at opportunities, the guy at quarterback for Yale, Joe Wallen, has made the most of the 16 records. But more than that, he seems to make big play after big play at vital times.
Coach Selecki will tell you, he's my guy. This is the guy we expect to make plays. Be it on the perimeter, dropping back, running the football, whatever, Joe can get it done for Yale.
And when you talk about playmakers, one's going to be out of the lineup today for Harvard. Hurt his knee last week. Chris Medic, over 3,000 yards in his career, but they do have a sensational linebacker for the Crimson. Isaiah Kazavensky averages 14 tackles per game. He is a superior sideline-to-sideline player.
Folks, you will enjoy watching Isaiah play football, and in my opinion, he's a guy that's going to play on Sundays in the National Football League.
And his head football coach, Tim Murphy, agrees with you. He feels he's a certainty, a lock to make the NFL. 23 seniors playing their final game for Harvard are confident they're going to spring the upset. 13 seniors at Yale want the 13th Ivy League championship. It is simply the game, and it's coming up next from DirecTV.
This month on Stars.
You have something they want. I don't have anything.
It's movies, new hit movies.
I blew up the building. Why? Because you made a phone call.
More new hit movies in prime time.
Things are looking up, Birdie.
Movies you'll see first on Stars, only on Stars. Don't miss these great movies on Stars.
Thank you for tuning in. And remember, let go, give in.
Want to watch your favorite players'
I like to watch Steve Young. After every throw, he holds his hand like this, and it's picture perfect.
Order NFL Sunday Ticket right now and get the rest of the '99 regular season, plus all of the 2000 regular season for just $189.
I like to watch Dan Marino.
Dan Marino succeeds in a ski boot.
It's the quick release. It's so fast.
Get up to 13 games every Sunday through next season with NFL Sunday Ticket.
You watch this game long enough, you see it all.
We are determined to deliver the best entertainment.
Some very powerful words.
Yes.
HBO The Works brings you massive movies, original series, provocative documentaries.
What you stand for, is that right?
Oh, that's right.
Exclusive sports, and shows for the whole family.
I'm Henny Penny, and that's the scoop.
Go for our 7 big channels packed with excitement. There's always a thrill on DirecTV.
They've been playing at this facility since 1914. The Yale Bowl, its 85th year. of operation at New Haven, Connecticut. And of course, this is the 116th occasion that Yale and Harvard have been able to collide. Randy Roosevelt with Dan Jiggets on a delightful day. As you can see, the temperature is 57 degrees. We'll take that on November 20th every year. Very little wind.
This is New England, isn't it?
It is New England. It's got Southern California-like weather today.
I'm telling you, everybody's talking about, global warming or whatever.
Third member of our broadcast squad is Christine Brennan, and she's with the head football coach at Harvard, Tim Murphy.
Guys, Coach Tim Murphy. Coach, you've had 2 heartbreaking losses in a row. What did you tell the team right before they came out?
I told them, Christine, they're a good football team, believe in themselves, and everything will take care of itself.
And as far as the rushing game without Chris Minnick, what do you do?
Well, obviously we can't make up for Chris Minnick, but we have to have a balanced attack to win today, so we can't just throw the football.
Coach, they're playing. Go back to the game. Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Terrence Patterson with the return for Harvard. And a great return near the 50-yard line. A wonderful start for the Crimson.
Terrence Patterson, one of those triple threats for the Crimson. He can catch the ball and perform on special teams. He can even go in the backfield and run it if the need arises.
Right at the 50-yard line, that's Brad Wilford, the quarterback. He's has not been talked about all week. He's a senior from Tucson, Arizona. All the attention going to Joe Walland of Yale, but I'm sure that Brad Wilford has been thinking about, wait a minute, I can steal the headline.
That's a dangerous situation then.
And the running back, Chuck Wakocha. Now he's the young man who is filling in for the injured Chris Minnick. The Harvard starting lineup. Terrence Patterson, you've already seen him on the kick return. He's a young man who turned down scholarships to Tennessee and Virginia. He's that talented. He wanted his education at Harvard. And that offensive front, Mike Clare, has been one of the best in the Ivy League this season. Wakocha again inside the 45-yard line. Jeff Hockenbrock with the stop. And Hockenbrock is the leader of the defensive line. 10 sacks this year, 22 in his career, second all-time at Yale.
And Peter Sorrentos is the other guy to keep your eye on in that Yale defense. Here are the linebackers.
Jeff White filling in for the injured Peter Mazza. And Todd Tomich, only a junior, has 13 career interceptions. The Ivy League record's 22 by Dean Cain, the actor Superman.
That's right.
He thinks he can break that record next year. Third down and a yard to go for the Crimson. A flag.
It burned up the clock. No, the clock just burned down, so it'll be interesting to find out what indeed was the penalty.
Procedure on the offensive Harvard.
False start on the offense. 5 yards, previous spot, still third down.
Well, that may change the call from Brad Wilford.
It was interesting to note that the question was, would Harvard try to run the football this week because Chris Minnick was out? And you don't kind of change your personality in the middle of the screen. So, they're going to continue to run the football, but now, obviously, this is a passing situation.
And when they throw, they like to go to Terrence Patterson or Andy Freed, the flanker back. Incomplete on 3rd and 7. Intended for the freshman, Cal Cremerosa, out of Southern California, and Yale has held. And Harvard will have to relinquish the football. These are 2 outstanding defensive football squads, especially against the rush.
Yeah, and that's the thing that's going to make this game, maybe hinge on who can throw the football.
Harvard looking to down it. And could not. It'll be a touchback out to the 20-yard line. And Yale and their exciting quarterback, Joe Walland. He is a do-everything guy. He is a warrior. Hurt his left thumb, his throwing hand last week in the victory over Princeton. But look at the numbers. 12 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions. And despite the injury, he says the thumb's okay. Had a shot of Novocaine before the game, and he says he's ready to go. Doesn't feel any pain at all.
He's one of those kids that says they have 2 of them, so good deal.
He is a tough customer. They're not going to get him out of the lineup.
No.
Not for Harvard and Yale. Trips Comes to the left side. This is a wide open attack. Wallen throws that one into the ground.
One of the other things we have to look out for today, Randy, is how well will Harvard rush the passer. That's going to be another key for today's ball game.
Bartholomew has rushed for 810 yards this year and for over 900 a year ago. And he's only a junior and a good one out of Palos Verdes, California. David Farrell, a freshman center, has come in and solidified that offensive line. What a mature guy he is. They think down the road he could be a Rhodes Scholar. Second down and 10 for Yale, scoreless early on at the Yale Bowl. Roll out. Wallen cannot turn it upfield.
You know, one of the reasons why is because of containment. And I believe that was Brian Howard who boxed the corner. And watch now as Wallen wants to try to get outside, get on the perimeter and turn up and fire. And you saw it right there. The play was closed down on the corner, and that forced him to go back upfield. Mike Sands was the man that turned this play up.
Great pursuit, too, from Clint Kohler, senior from Duluth, Georgia. Number 40, there he is, a 3-year letterman. Third down and a dozen. And Wallen in the shotgun. Great leadership skills, but this time he may have taken too much time.
And he had old Isaiah rushing off the corner, too.
Well, I think you have to be aware where Isaiah Kazavensky, number 49, is at all time. And that will make the assignment for Wallen and the offense a little bit more difficult. Last year's game was 9-7 for Yale, so that might tell us something about how tough these defenses are.
Yeah, you know, Yale's defense leads the Ivy League in scoring defense with 15 points a game on average given up. That's absolutely fabulous, and I think Harvard is second or third.
They're not bad. Harvard averages just under 19 a game. So they are the two premier defenses in the H&8. Third and 17 for Joe Wallen. First 3 minutes of action at the Yale Bowl. First completion, but only for a short gain. Eric Johnson, his 47th catch of the season, but well shy of the first down.
And what you saw there is Harvard played it kind of safe, only rushed 4, dropped everybody back in coverage. And watch Isaiah cover the receiver coming across the middle of your screen. And that's going to be the key right there. He misses the tackle, but he's also got some help coming up from the remainder of the secondary.
And Eric Johnson punts it away, a line drive kick. And here's Patterson again with a nice return. Out across the 45 and runs out of bounds at the 48-yard line. This Terrence Patterson's exciting.
Yeah, you know, he broke a lot of the receiving records here at Harvard, and one of the gentlemen who he broke some records for was Pat McAnally, who I played with back in the 70s, and Pat went on to, I believe, a 12-year National Football League career as a punter. And was an exceptional punter and pass receiver at Harvard, an All-American.
Right you are about Patterson. 143 career receptions coming in. And he is multi-purpose. Kickoffs, punts. They'll put him just about anywhere on the field. Once again, Harvard with excellent field position for Wilford. And that's Chalmers. Brent Chalmers carries for the first time. Here's a young man that was 6th string, and with the injury to Chris Mennick has moved up on the chart. He's now 2nd string. He's going to come out of the lineup, but Chalmers with an early carry. There is number 38. In fact, last week he wore number 39 and confused everyone in the press box. They didn't know that Mennick was hurt.
Hey, and I like that play, too. That was an attitude play right there. Just run up and play a little smash mouth on that one.
8 of 3, second down, 7. Scoreless. Under 11 to play in the opening quarter of the game. Harvard and Yale. Wakocha driving inside the 45-yard line.
Wakocha was the ball carrier.
Harvard does run the football effectively. And Wakocha is going to be a very prominent figure.
And you saw number 73 there for Harvard. That's Mike Clare with an outstanding block at the point of attack. Got his man out of the way. Get your running back a little bit of room.
Bill Thompson with the stop for the Yale football team. Third down and 2. And Wakocha is dropped in his backfield. Peter Cervantes, number 90, got in there in a hurry with help from Andy Tezzolino, the nose guard, number 20.
Tezzolino is one of those guys that just kind of barrels himself down in there, makes it tough for you to root him out, and that just stuffs up the play.
4th down, and Harvard again is punting. Mike Giampaolo with a short kick. Thomas watches that one go straight out of bounds. Well, Yale's head football coach in his 3rd year is Jack Sidlecki, and he knows his job. What is it? He's got to beat Harvard.
I think the biggest thing about the game, obviously, is we got to beat Harvard. The Ivy title comes with it. If you're focused on the title, you're focused on the wrong thing. We got to focus on beating Harvard, and they're a very good football team. These last 2 weeks, the 3 top-ranked defenses in our league are us, Harvard, and Princeton.
What a job he's done. 1-9 his first year. He's trying to go 9-1 in his 3rd year.
As they counter OT.
Bartholomew bouncing off of 2 tacklers, trying to get to the perimeter. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage, but you've got to love the effort of Rashad Bartholomew, run out of bounds by Aaron Natali.
Well, I think you like the effort unless you're one of the offensive linemen, because what they want to see him do right at this point is turn that play up right here. Turn that play up and get up the field. The longer you string an OT out, the worse it's going to get for you offensively. You want to hit it right now, right behind your 2 blockers that are leading from the backside.
He was confident, Rashad Bartholomew, that he could run right through Harvard, through their entire front 7, and he nearly did it on that carry.
That's right.
2nd down and 7. That was a thing of beauty, even though it only picked up 3 yards. Wallen, throw it on 2nd down if he can find a target. His knee hit down back at the 23 when he tried to turn it upfield.
And that was good coverage downfield, and also some nice pass protection really on the part of Yale. If you watch their offensive line on the left-hand side, they fan block. They turned out. And I was sitting in their meetings the other day, and they were talking about this same kind of situation where they had to turn out and give their quarterback protection. They did that time. Wallen just slipped on the play.
Early on, Harvard doing a good job of containing Joe Wallen.
One thing they want to do is keep him in the pocket.
3rd down, 14 for the Bulldogs. Scoreless opening quarter in New Haven, Connecticut. Rivalry Saturday. This is just a wonderful day for college football fans. Wallen rolling out. Wanted Eric Johnson to throw way too far. Great coverage from Kane Waller.
And he got rolled up down there, too, after he let that one go. I believe that was R.D. Kern who put the pressure on him in the backfield.
Once again, Eric Johnson called upon to punt. Terrence Patterson, who's been the exciting element of this game. This time they keep it away from him. Terrence fumbled the ball. This is a live football. Patterson got it back. A high wire act. And Terrence Patterson very fortunate, as is Harvard.
Randy, when the ball is bouncing around, if you're that return man, not a good idea to mess around with it. Leave it alone. And that's what Terrence Patterson should have done right then. Just leave the ball alone, get as far away from it as possible.
8:19 left in the first quarter. Harvard and Yale scoreless. Terrence Patterson very lucky on that bounce, and he knows it. Harvard has to start from inside its 10-yard line. Brad Wilford remains in at quarterback. He beat out Rich Linden, the incumbent, for the job. And again a flag. Troy Jones, number 4 in the ball game for the first time this afternoon for the Harvard Crimson. Procedure will back him up.
Penalties against Harvard for illegal motion.
You know, as a coach, I'm sure you sit there and wonder, how in the world can we have a procedure called? We practiced this stuff, played it all season long.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
I would think Brad Wilford's on a shorter leash today, man. If he doesn't get it done, we might see Rich Linden, the backup quarterback.
Yeah, Rich Linden is the backup quarterback. Rich started for 3 years here at Harvard, and he said he's taken the benching quite well. He's been a real pro about handling that situation, which could be very difficult for a lot of people.
Troy Jones is the eye back. Here's his first carry. And he He works out across the 5, maybe to the 7-yard line. Troy Jones in the workouts has been outstanding this week. They said he's been as fresh as a freshman. He's a senior who's had a bad ankle that slowed his entire career down, but they really feel he's a talented running back.
He's very fast. He's a guy that could have been a difference maker for them, save for the injuries that have occurred throughout his career. You look at him, he's one of those lean-looking running backs, a guy that looks fast. I don't care if he is fast, he looks fast.
He is fast. Second down and 11 for Harvard. Play fake by Wilford. Plenty of time on the rollout, but good defense downfield. Give the Yale secondary all the credit in the world. Andy Tezzolino made the tackle, but it was that secondary that did not allow Wilford to find an open receiver.
And what you want to do now, watch number 4. That's Troy Jones. Nice fake there, play action fake. Now Troy's going to come back across the field and be open, but you've got to work yourself back to the quarterback. Give him an opportunity in that little area to toss that ball back to you. Find an area, settle down, and try to make the reception.
Andy Tezzolino playing with a mitt. He hurt his hand early on. He's been playing with a mitt on his right hand all season long, but it hasn't stopped him from doing damage along that defensive front. Wilford on 3rd down and 13. And it's the draw. And Rakocha bouncing to the outside, going out across the 12-yard line, but well shy of the first down.
The funniest thing is they couldn't find Chuck. He's so small. They were looking for him in the defense. They couldn't find him. He's about 5'5", folks, and about 180 pounds, and they were looking everywhere.
180. He's 165, soaking wet.
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. That's with equipment.
With equipment plus. Giampaolo to punt again. Yale starting to win the battle of field position. Tomich with the return to the 40-yard line of Harvard. We will step aside. We are scoreless, but Yale's in Harvard territory for the first time in the game.
Sweetie, that must be the Martins. Can you get it?
Got it, honey.
Want to make an impact on the new neighbors? Invite them over for NBA League Pass. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get up to 40 games a week from outside your local area.
It's the Rocket!
You'll pay just $169. So why wait? Let the magic move you.
My, what a lovely... Whoa.
Only one network delivers more golf than anywhere else.
The Golf Channel brings you everything you want to know, watch, and enjoy from past and present in the world of golf.
More live call-in golf chat.
And instruction with top teaching professionals. More up-to-the-minute nightly golf news, worldwide tournaments, plus early round coverage of premier PGA Tour events.
And much more. The Golf Channel. More golf.
Tremendous crowd at the Yale Bowl. They expect better than 40,000. They haven't had better than 40,000 here since 1991. But they're excited about their Bulldogs. They think this is their year, and this is the main reason, the main weapon, Joe Wallen. Hasn't had time, though, to find a target. He's been forced to run so far, and when he's thrown the ball, he's been ineffective early.
But it changes now, obviously, as you mentioned, with the field position war being won right now by Yale.
Starting from the Crimson 40. The deep pitch to Bartholomew. And he cannot turn the corner. Closed off nicely by Isaiah Kazavinsky.
And one of the things I was talking about when you talk about running the football is to have that running back punch the ball. And that is when you get to the line of scrimmage, punch it up the field. Because if you don't, guys like Isaiah Kazavinsky are going to hunt you down. And he is an exceptional sideline-to-sideline type of a player.
Rashad Bartholomew had rushed the ball 202 times coming in, as you can see, 810 yards. He didn't seem satisfied with the 810.
No, he wasn't at all. What a wonderful young man. This guy's going to be a real success in life after Yale.
Started his college football career at Air Force and transferred to Yale. Wallen throwing and having a completion. Going to the tight end. That was nicely done. Throwing a dart to Jim Keppel. Keppel lined up at tight end. He actually is the fullback, but he was in that tight end position or in the slot. That's a perfect throw.
Yeah, it's just a little curl over the middle, and he's wide open up in there. And then Isaiah Kazavinsky gets in on the tackle. But really, the help was supposed to come from outside on that play for the defense, and that was supposed to be Ben Green, the free safety covering.
Gain of 9, 3rd down and a yard. At the 31-yard line of Harvard.
That's what we used to call the hut tweet.
Jeff Dittman, tight end, 87. Obviously a beat early. Dittman's a sophomore from Duluth, Minnesota. He's a rangy target. You can see he's got great size at 6'6". And he started early, and he's going right out of the ball again.
Yeah, coach usually wants to visit with you after that one.
Scott Austin right back in the ball game, the starting tight end. Wallen in that shotgun.
Harvard showing blitz.
Another good throw to Eric Johnson. A strike from Wallen, very close to a first down. Where they placed it down, that should give the Bulldogs a first down, a good spot.
What it looked like is he straddled the line to make sure that he had the first down, and then he made the reception. And indeed it is the first down. Watch here, he'll get right to that first down marker. Try to make sure that he's at least got enough for the first, and then he tries to turn upfield.
Took quite a pop from Ben Green, but that's a knowledgeable job running the pattern by Eric Johnson. Just a junior, and again, he's multi-dimensional. 4 receivers in the game for Wallen. Wallen looking to really spring out that defense. That one's incomplete. Intended for Johnson once again.
And Johnson slipped once again, and you know, sometimes you look, you say, I won't wear the right shoes for the conditions, because that sounds funny, but it's not really. When if the field had been wet down or something like that, you have to make sure you have the right kind of footing on to stand up in this stuff.
The forecast was partly cloudy, but the sun is now breaking through. A beautiful day in New Haven, Connecticut. There was a chance of showers, but it does not appear like we're going to get showers during this one. Not for Harvard and Yale. Ideal playing conditions. 2nd down and 10, and the option and the late pitch to Bartholomew. And that's stuffed out beautifully by the defense and Isaiah Kazavinsky, number 49 again there. And he had help from Aaron Natali, the other linebacker, 40 of Kazavinsky twice this year. Has had 20 tackles in a game against Colgate and Fordham.
Watch how they shut down the options and give you very few options as they take you out. You see Bartholomew trying to find some room on the edge there to run, but it's just not available for them. That was great defense on the part of Harvard.
3rd down and long once again for Yale.
Aaron Natali's quite a story. You know, his dad played with my brother-in-law at Penn State.
Yeah, and he went on to have quite a career at Penn State. Here's Wallen scrambling.
Wallen, the keeper for Yale.
Again, credit the coverage downfield. Joe Wallen looking down there. He can't find anything. Feels a little bit of the pressure and does a smart thing. Tries to just get up in the pocket, maybe find somewhere to run.
Laborski with the tackle after the 3-yard run by Wallen.
You know, we keep an eye on Joe. It looked like he may have gotten nicked on that option play, so we have to keep an eye on him.
Moravchik, the hero of last year's game, kicked the game winner with just over 3 minutes remaining last season. Long enough and accurate. Mike Moravchik, the junior from Cherry Hills, New Jersey. And Yale strikes first and leads 3-0. At a 27-yarder to win the game last year. And again, field position when Patterson muffed the punt and the offense stalled and they gave it back to Yale. Yale didn't have to go very far to pick up the 3 points.
That's right. And sometimes you don't necessarily attach it that quickly. But boy, that was a clear example of if you muff a punt and you give that field position away, suddenly it's a headache for your defense.
Justin Davis will be kicking off once again for Yale. Junior with a very strong leg and gives us an opportunity to witness the work of Terrence Patterson, the senior from Germantown, Tennessee. Number 1, who is sensational. Did muff that punt, but he also has had a couple electrifying returns in this game. Nearly broke the opening kickoff. In fact, Terrence Patterson last week had a 77-yard touchdown run against Penn.
3 minutes and 31 seconds.
Let's go down to Christine Brennan with a legend around these parts at Yale, Brian Dowling.
All right, Randy, thank you. You know, the part of the culture that this Harvard-Yale game is standing right beside me. You know Doonesbury. Gary Trudeau created the character BD. This is BD, Brian Dowling. When you come here, are you recognized everywhere you go?
Well, I don't wear my helmet, so that helps, but or doesn't help. But some people who've been around for 30 years, they recognize me. I haven't put on that much weight or lost that much hair, but it's fun to get back, and it's you know, what a great day to be here. You know, I'm ready to play golf as opposed to play football. But
were you and Gary Trudeau friends in school?
We met once. A mutual friend asked me to write the foreword to his first book, which is the fall of '68, entitled Bull Tales. But the football team got a big kick out of his strips.
And last question about football, Brian. The quarterback tradition at Yale. Obviously, you're a big part of that. How do you rank the quarterback here now, Joe Walland, and, of course, the others in history? Well,
Joe's had a great season, and he's set a lot of records. But, you know, you get statistics and records when you win. They win, the records will come. He's had tremendous percentage and very low interceptions, which coaches absolutely love. So I'm sure he's very confident today.
All right, thanks very much. Brian Dowling, BD. Back to you guys upstairs.
Well, Dowling threw 31 touchdowns in his career at Yale, and his record eclipsed by Joe Walland, who has 32. Here's a nice strike to Andy Freed from quarterback Brad Wilford.
Yeah, and Andy just coming across the middle, makes a little stop route there, and makes the reception. A beautiful throw and catch. Secondary playing a little soft for Yale in that situation.
Good for 16 yards. Troy Jones looking for a little bit of a crease. No running room there. Jeff White, linebacker, sophomore, Austin, Texas, number 55, underneath the pile. Well, Yale taking advantage of field position, getting the 44-yard field goal. 7 plays. You can see they only traveled 13 yards.
That's it, and that's what the I'll call it almost like a turnover does to you when you drop the ball that deep in your own area.
Harvard down 3-0. Late in the first quarter. They run the option. Patterson answers the man that pitched it back to Okocha. So Terrence Patterson running the option.
Todd Tomich is there on the corner, though. Todd Tomich comes up and makes an outstanding play. And, folks, he's not a real big player either, but he's just like the Tasmanian devil, though. Watch him on this play. There's the pitch out, and watch him get off the blocker and come right back into the picture and make the stop.
Todd Tomich, not highly recruited out of high school. Thought he was going to be recruited, but he hurt his hand in his senior season. Was a fine quarterback in Southern California. In fact, his brother Tyler is a great quarterback in his own right. Played at Oregon State. Will try out for the LA Avengers later this year. An indoor arena football team. Wilford goes down. Tremendous pressure. Eli Keeley, number 42, getting to the quarterback.
And Grady Smalling, the fullback, kind of runs into his quarterback. And watch as he drops back. Watch the fullback dropping back, looking for somebody to protect on. And then right there, he's trying to get out of the pocket, and he runs right into his fullback.
Giampaolo with a rocket. And it's down, I believe, at the 1-yard line. That's a terrific job by Harvard. And Yale is 99 yards away. Marvelous work by the Crimson and Mike Madden.
Mike was walking that tightrope when he got down on the goal line, because if you touch any part of that line, you're finished on that play. And that was just a beautiful execution on special teams. Watch it, Michael get to the line, plant his feet there, make sure he's not on that line, tips the ball back out, and it's downed out in the field of play.
Well, with a precarious 3-0 lead. Not about a 28 remaining in the first quarter. Back, he's Joe Walland.
Now here's where Yale doesn't want to make any mistakes.
Bartholomew trying the middle. Breaking free across the 20. 41 yards to the 42 for Rashad Bartholomew.
There's a play when you're just hoping to maybe get a couple of yards up in the middle. He punched this one up the field, and that's what I was saying before. If you hit the play up the field, it gives your offensive lineman a chance to get on their blocks, get you through to the secondary level, and then you're on your own. And boy, what a nice run that time by Bartholomew.
The left quarterback, Willie Alford, number 2, the sophomore from Cerritos, California, had to chase him out of bounds.
Yeah, you're not going to outrun him. I think he runs like a 4.340.
He is quick. Rashad Bartholomew giving Yale a running game in this first quarter. And the pitch to Bartholomew. Running to the short side of the football field. You got to like the fact he's lowering the shoulder when he turns it upfield.
And that time he didn't lower it fast enough. Isaiah got in there and got a nice clean shot on him up top just as he was going to the sideline.
Well, Isaiah is always present. He's a candidate for the Buck Buchanan Award as the best defensive player in 1AA football. He's a finalist along with 15 other players.
And he's already been awarded the Swede Nelson Award. You see right there, he came in on top. And that's what you want out of your linebackers, to play sideline to sideline and get after those running backs.
Already 48 yards. Pretty good average, 9.3. But when you get 41 in one burst, that will help you.
Zone coverage in the secondary.
And again, they go to the fullback, Jim Keppel. He's a good receiver coming out of the backfield. That's his 33rd catch of the year. He was dropped by Mike Madden.
And you saw Madden just dropping back in that zone coverage. But the problem is you drop back far enough and you drop back behind the first down marker. And that's exactly what happened on this play. Well, actually, it was a second down marker.
Yale is retreating. They've been guilty of a flag. Personal foul.
15 yards to the spot of the foul. Second down.
Well, in an emotional game like that, these are the penalties you cannot have occur.
No, and even if you're trying to get back at somebody for something, you know, you have to wait your turn and wait until you find that opportunity, if you will. But to do it out here in the middle of the field when you're on a nice drive, you get a 15-yarder, it really takes your team out of the action.
Only scoring in this opening quarter, a 44-yard field goal by Mike Moravchik. He's hit 13 out of 17 this year. Very solid field goal guy, an all Ivy League player. Second down and 26 needed for the Bulldogs. Bartholomew again bouncing to the perimeter. I like the way he's running the football. Vitali and Kazavensky, the linebackers, combined to bring him down. Well, you know, there's the Bulldog, and Bartholomew is running.
That's
like
exactly right.
Like a Bulldog.
You know, I understand. His name is Handsome Dan.
Yeah, he is handsome.
I look better than him, don't I? I understand Bulldogs.
I'm not going to answer that.
Bulldogs have an inch-thick skull, so they can literally hit a door or something like that with their skull and not really have it phase them very much. I always thought that about the guys I played against at Yale.
You're after those guys, aren't you? Well, you won 2 out of the 3 meetings. Wallen needs a lot of yardage on third down, and he's forced to scramble again and brought down from behind by R.D. Kern.
Boy, and R.D. got a hold of those shoulder pads and just yanked him back. That was a heads-up play on his part.
Well, Yale is stalled. That personal foul stopped their drive.
You know, when Joe Wallen can get out and get into the open field, that's when he's really dangerous. This is a guy that can rush for over 100 yards at the quarterback position.
Kicking it away from Terrence. But Patterson's going to flag this one at his 18. Brings it back 12 yards to the 30. Yale is leading after the first quarter, 3-0.
High hand. Hey, Coach Majerus. Can't wait for the season to begin? Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get ESPN Full Court. Order right now and pay just $89 or 2 payments of $44.50.
You backdoor, you post up, you stop eating dirt.
You make the call. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS. Order ESPN Full Court today.
And remember, guys, you can't coach size.
3-0 in favor of Yale. As you look at the crimson flag, they want to raise that crimson flag. See exciting Ivy League Friday nights with a Total Choice Gold or Total Choice Platinum subscription on DirecTV. Each Friday night from January 7th through March 7th, you can select basketball games from the Ivy League exclusively on DirecTV with the Total Choice Gold or Total Choice Platinum subscription. Here's Wilford throwing downfield to Eitzman, the captain, hurtling down inside the 45-yard line. Bill Thompson, the linebacker, finally dropped him. But there's a good football player, the captain of the Crimson, Chris Eitzman.
And Eitzman just keeps this play alive by continuing to work his way across the field and find an open area. When your quarterback rolls out, Brad Wilford had to roll out that time. He still has enough of an opportunity to find his big tight end.
44-yard line is where Eitzman tumbled down. Crimson looking to erase a 3-0 deficit. Eitzman cannot bring that one in. That was coverage from Jeff White.
Yeah, that was a little behind him, Randy, and he tried to reach back and grab it, but just was not to happen. Tim Murphy, the head coach of the Harvard Crimson, and he's done quite a nice job with this football team and trying to bring back Harvard football and get it back to that championship level. He's got a great relationship with his old buddy over on the other sideline, Jack Ziglecki. These guys go back a long, long way in their coaching careers.
Wilford throwing. That slant pattern's good. That's a nice pitch and catch. And Wilford seems to be heaving up.
It looks like Braven is the guy that comes across on the slant pattern. And this one is right in the middle of the field. He makes the nice reception, goes up for it. Gets airborne, and that's when he took a little bit of a beating.
To the 33 of Yale. And Lacocha dives down near the 30-yard line. Andy Tozzolino, the great competitor in the middle of the nose guard.
I have to laugh at Tozzolino. You know, he's one of those guys.
Such a small guy. Yeah, small on small there.
Exactly, and he's working low. And when a guy's working low, it makes it difficult to root him out and get him out of the way.
Well, only 5'5" is number 5. But Lacocha is the fastest player on the Harvard team. 2nd and 7. Went wide receivers to the left side for Wilford, but he's going back to the right. Patterson caught the football. That's a great grab by Terrence Patterson. What about at the 6, 1st and goal?
Randy, this is beautiful. And now watch, he keeps his eye on the ball. Now, if you're a defender and you see that receiver looking for the football on the fade pattern, understand that if he's looking, that ball is in the air and you can't face guard him. You got to turn around and try to knock that ball down. And that time it was Josh Phillips who was playing in the secondary, and he never turned around to try to make the play. You can't wish and hope on that play. You got to get around and knock the ball to the ground.
6 yards needed for a Harvard Crimson touchdown. Lacocha may have lost a yard. Peter Sorrentos, number 90, was shot out of a cannon into the backfield.
Peter Sorrentos is another guy who I think is going to have an opportunity to be a player on Sundays. When you see a guy from the edge and kind of like that rover position, playing all over the field and making plays, rushing the passer and everything else, you know you got a fine football player, and he indeed is that.
Harvard now working from the Yale 7. Nothing's too tall in the end zone for Patterson. That was excellent coverage from Todd Tomich. Of course, Tomich, 13 interceptions in his career. No one has more in Yale history.
This is a marquee matchup from an offense-defensive standpoint. Right there, those two guys, Patterson working against Tomich.
All-star on all-star.
That's right.
3rd and goal for the Crimson. Looking for the lead. Looking to spoil Yale's season. Wilford in trouble. Again for Patterson, too tall.
Pass is incomplete intended for
Tremendous
Patterson.
pressure.
There's a flag on the play.
Quarterback Brad Wilford.
I think he made the right decision. If he couldn't get it to the receiver, Patterson in the end zone, put it right up over his hands. Maybe if he's got a great vertical, he can get it, but he'd have to be Kareem Jabbar that time.
Harvard was holding on the play.
I always say I never held an honest man in my life.
I would imagine a lot of people did holding on to you, though. You had quite a career. And you told me it was just so difficult to lose this game, and we'll get into that in a moment after we get the call.
Illegal block in the back by the offense. Penalty is refused. Fourth down.
You were on a very good Harvard team that lost to the underdog Yale squad.
Yeah, in our sophomore year, that was 1973. We had a chance to win a championship down here.
Giampaolo from 24 yards to try to tie it. And he missed it. From point-blank range.
You could see the players out on the field. They thought it was good. But the only thing that counts is if the officials think it's good, right?
Coming in, he hit 66% of those, 10 of 15. Normally, the senior is reliable, but Giampaolo misses here.
The score this afternoon, first quarter, Cornell 3, Pennsylvania nothing. First quarter,
good snap, good hold.
Dartmouth nothing.
Just drifts to the right on it.
3, Columbia nothing.
Kind of tough to tell exactly whether or not you had an argument there, but it makes no difference.
Oh, his buddy's commiserating with him on the sideline.
That'll last about one more miss.
Yes. Walland on the rollout. That's a nice picture pass to Johnson for 17 yards. Kazavenski with the stop. But Walland, when he gets outside of containment and you give him time to throw the football, he's going to find a target because he's accurate.
Yeah, Keith Lee, the offensive coordinator for Yale told us that he really wanted to get him out in the pocket, get him out of the pocket, get him rolling outside. And this is what he does best, as you said, on the run. And then now some blocking downfield. Oh, that's a beautiful thing when you see somebody firing and laying out downfield.
Yale to its 38-yard line, leading 3-0. Hard fought first half. Of course, that's to be expected. That pass was batted down. It is not a lateral. It's an incompleted ball.
And that was Chris Nowinski, who's from Arlington Heights, Illinois. He's right down the street from where I live. I see Chris sometimes during the offseason. This is a wonderful young man, 6'5", about 285 pounds, gained 20-some pounds during the course of this season. And then you see him just gets a great push up front and gets his hands up.
Honorable mention All Ivy League last year. Has been the best defensive lineman, along with Mike Sands. The right end's had a big year, number 99. Second down and 10. Slot right formation for the Bulldogs. And Bartholomew is cut down in his backfield.
Bartholomew for Yale.
Breaking through is Aaron Natali. Outside linebacker Natali, number 40, really has lived in the shadow of Kazavenski.
Yeah, and this was Mike Sands as well, number 99. Watch him blow this play up. Comes in on his knees, comes in and still makes the stop. So a combination between those two. And it's a deadly duo over there in that in position.
Well, Nowinski was the heralded player coming in, and you're right, Sands has given this team a mighty lift. Third down and 13. Another flag. Yale did not execute on that play. But they have the lead 3-0. Moravchek's 44-yard field goal was the difference in the game.
Randy, you know, one of the things we talk about.
Football foul. False start on the offense. Still third down.
The Harvard-Yale game, and one team can come in 8-1, and the other one 5-4, and maybe feel like they're struggling a little bit. But when you get to this game, it really doesn't make any difference because the game is played on so much emotion because you know this is the one you're going to remember the rest of your life.
Well, Yale has a great offense. They average over 32 a game, but it's been tough sledding so far against Harvard. Another flag in the backfield of Yale.
That'll no doubt be Holder.
As Sands chases Wallen out of bounds, then he threw it away.
You know, Yale's come a long way with a very young offensive line, and sitting in their team meetings yesterday, I got a feel for how that group is coming along. There are a lot of fun kids in that group for Yale.
Well, when you're winning, it is fun.
That's exactly right.
Brown looking for at least a share of the Ivy League championship against Columbia, leading 3-0 in the second quarter.
Chris Berman, I saw him on ESPN this morning crying about he wanted his guys to win.
Absolutely. And Princeton looking to get by Dartmouth, shutting out Dartmouth in the second quarter. Johnson on it, getting the punt away. There is number 21. Nice spiraling kick, and he again is aiming this one and angling it out of bounds away from Terrence Patterson. Well, I think Patterson has earned the respect of the Yale Bulldogs. And he is hurting Yale field position-wise.
Yeah, he really has. He set Harvard up offensively in some really good field position, which for the most part they've not been able to capitalize.
Order NFL Sunday ticket from DirecTV and get the remainder of the 1999 regular season plus the entire 2000 NFL Sunday ticket at regular season for only 4 payments of $47.25. That's as many as 24 weeks of NFL action. To order, tune to channel 213 or call 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
What a great setup that is. I'm a big fan of the NBA pass, too. I absolutely love it.
I'm sure you have your eye on the Bears all the time.
I'm with them most of the time.
Wakocha trying to bounce outside. Only upfield for a couple yards. Andy Tezzolino again, very active, number 20 on defense. This Wakocha, isn't he fun to watch? Only
really
5'5", but he has the quickness, and he is the fastest of the Crimson players at 4.43.
I call
in
him
the 40-yard dash.
He's mini-me.
This is only his second career start because it's been Chris Mennick's job for so long.
There's Keith Lee, the offensive coordinator of Yale, who we visited with yesterday, talking to his troops on the sideline.
And the draw to Wakocha. Got to the 48-yard line. Tezzolino. Number 20 is everywhere. There's that cast on the right hand. Heard that in practice right at the beginning of the year.
Well, you know, and when you're playing on the defensive line, you're actually working your way down the evolutionary chain.
Right.
Really
he looks tougher this way.
Yeah, you just need a claw. You don't need a hand necessarily. It's a claw at that point.
Hard to believe a guy at 220 pounds right in the middle of all that with all those massive linemen, even in the Ivy League, where you think they'd be a little slight of build compared to some of the other conferences. They're getting up to 280, 290, and 300 pounds in that offensive front.
That's it. The quickness sometimes can spoil a whole lot of strength.
Inside screen, and Primarosa is clobbered, taken down by Eli Kelly.
Eli made an excellent play. This is that underneath screen to the wide receiver. You see the pros running it an awful lot too, where they look for the run after the catch, try to get back up underneath the blocking. Right here, as the ball comes back, you work your way back up under the blocking. But this is a nice play by Kelly. He's just all over this one.
Giampaolo with a poor punt. Only to the 38-yard line of Yale. Wonder how much missing the field goal played on his mind, because Giampaolo does both roles.
Yeah, and that's a tough thing sometimes. You know, that's why you like to have two guys, one guy for punting and the other one for place kicking. But you know, the other thing is you get another opportunity to go out and do your job, and that's the way you have to approach it.
5 minutes remaining in the half. Yale with the ball, a 3-point lead, and their sizable crowd very much a part of this splendid afternoon in New Haven, Connecticut. Bartholomew for 2 yards in the arms of Chris Nowinski. You know, they didn't want Bartholomew to carry the ball too much this year, maybe 20 to 25 carries a game, and they've been able to do that. Last year, he got beat up a little bit, carried it a little bit more than that. Some games he had to go 30 or 35 carries, and he's fresher at the end of the season.
That's right, and then you see that yards per carry average maybe go down if he's carrying the load a little bit too much. But this play was stuffed at the point of attack, and that really helps them make him string it out. So he can't turn up the field like he'd like to.
And Yale has won some games in a lopsided manner, and it's given Bartholomew some time off late in game. Wallen, the deep ball for Johnson. Nearly a magnificent catch at the 31-yard line, and Johnson is noted for having wonderful hands, and he nearly made the big catch there.
I tell you what, he made a great stab at it as he put that one hand up, his left up in the air, tried to grab and pull it back in. What an outstanding attempt on the play. Watch as he leaps in the air, gets the ball settled into that one hand, but just can't pull it in. This is a great attempt here. And of course, one of the reasons why you can't pull it in is because the defenders is slapping you on the back.
And you can see why there, why Johnson came in just 6 catches shy of the individual season record here, getting over 46 grabs. Wallen again throwing, and again it's Johnson, first down yardage to the 45-yard line of Harvard.
And Mike Madden, the strong safety for Harvard, had an opportunity to make the play there. He missed the tackle, and that's where Johnson got the extra yardage from. Watch how Madden here in the coverage settles down in this area. comes back, and that's when you just have to take the legs out of the receiver, and if you dive and miss him, then you know it's extra yards and probably a first down.
Johnson looking today to break the record of Kurt Grieve, who brought in 51 back in 1981. See, Wallen has thrown for 58 yards. Trying to direct his team downfield on DirecTV. Again, it's Johnson.
That's one of those situations where you're running the pattern and you look around and the defenders are going, hey, how you doing?
Zakarovich was right there, number 44. You got to talk about these Harvard linebackers, Natali, Zakarovich, Kazavensky. The three leading tacklers, and they just about make every takedown for the Crimson.
Yeah, they really do. You know, and the defensive line does a nice job for them up front of making sure that all of that interference is taken out, and then certainly on passing plays.
Number 44, Zakarovich, came in second on the team in tackles with 85 and 10 pass breakups. Second down and 5. Time to go back to Bartholomew. Did not run to the short side of the field and find any deal. Chased out of bounds by the hustling Aaron Natali.
And again, you know, it looks like the linebackers are making all the plays, but if you look at the defensive line, now watch here and watch what's going on with the offensive line of Yale up front. You don't see anybody being pushed off the line of scrimmage. The play is being strung out. Excellent play outside by Natali, but those guys up in the middle are doing a fabulous job as well.
They're down in 4.
Christopher Trovarelli to Yale headquarters outside portal number 17.
Everybody says, how come the running back couldn't gain any yards? And well, you know what, if the defenders are doing their jobs, it can make it very difficult.
Wallen again running out of the pocket and firing deep. And too far. Wanted Jake Fuller. He's the captain of Yale. Former running back here, was converted over a couple years ago, and he was the leading running back for Yale back in 1997. They wanted his ability to catch and then take the ball upfield after he catches the ball as a wideout, and he's done a great job of converting over from the running back
he really
spot.
has. And Coach Zalecki told us that it was a tough thing, you know, but the way he took the move and went about his business is one of the reasons why he's the captain of this football team.
Johnson kicking it over the head of Patterson, and it just goes into the end zone. And Harvard will start from its 20-yard line. We are going to go to break. Yale is leading 3-0, but when we come back, Harvard once again will try to claim the lead.
Look, I know they can't hear me when I'm watching from here, but how can you get this close and not feel like you're right out there on the ice with them? Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and score with NHL Center Ice. Oh, nice! Stick save, Arctic! You'll see up to 30 out-of-market games every week, and you'll pay just $139. Yes! Reserve the hottest seats in the house for the coolest game on earth. NHL Center Ice on DirecTV. Now that's how you do a backhand.
Premier League. The new season is here with a brand new look on Fox Sports World.
Wilford just hit a 26-yarder to Braven on a deep out pattern. From the 20 out to the 46-yard line. To the draw to Troy Jones. He has 5 yards, and he's in Yale territory.
And that was that previous play that you talked about was an awfully nice one by Wilford, because he had to scramble on the play, avoid a defender, and then find his receiver, his secondary receiver downfield. Watch him here as he has to go out. Well, he had done it earlier, avoided a potential pass rusher, and then found his receiver downfield on the secondary look.
Braven's come in, got a couple balls, and you can see that Wilford's over 100 yards. And he's been accurate.
Richard Braven's been pretty active at that wide receiver position.
Jones. Close to a first down.
Randy, one of the things we're talking about is what offensive lines and defensive lines do during the course of a game. A lot of times it's kind of lost on folks. But when we talk about reestablishing the line of scrimmage, that's what the Harvard offensive line did on that previous occasion. They reestablished the line of scrimmage for you, and suddenly that running back has angles where he can attack the defense.
First down for Jones and for the Crimson. They've had opportunities in this half. At first and goal and didn't score. Tried a field goal, a short field goal, and Giampaolo missed it right. This one's stopped by Andy Freed at the 39-yard line.
Van Merrill, the free safety, came over right on top of the play. We talked to Than yesterday. You know, he's a gentleman that was playing quarterback at Stanford and then transferred here to Yale. And watch him on this play. He's just all over right there, and he just wraps up, makes an excellent tackle.
Using constant contact is Merrill with Todd Husak, the fine quarterback at Stanford. Of course, Stanford goes for the Pac-10 title, Rose Bowl bid later today in the big game. Yeah. This is the game. That's the big game, Cal and Stanford.
I don't know, the way they've been playing defense out in the Pac-10, I don't know if it's a big game or not.
That one's thrown away.
Wait until they meet the Big Ten.
Of course, the biggest game of the day is obviously Florida State. But the title
is the big game.
Is the big game. I don't want to confuse anyone. Say, hey, Randy said that's the big game, but Florida State. That's just the title. Well, Jack Sidlecki, I'm sure he's concerned, but he was concerned coming in. He said even if they lose today, an 8-2 year, I'd be disappointed. But I can't deny myself the fact that we would have had a great year. But he does not want to lose. 3rd and 7. Wilford stepping up and throwing to Jones, who can't hold it.
Pass was intended for Jones.
That's one of those plays where the quarterback first he's 5 yards away from you, and the next time you know it, by the time he releases the ball, it's 2 yards away from
him. And it's coming fast.
That's it. This one really does have to be timed out perfectly. Looks like it was close to being a lateral, but what happened was he kind of pulled up the field, Jones did, to make it a forward pass.
Yeah, and Harvard able to down the ball.
And once again, that's Brian Daigle. And that's the second time he's done that in this ball game. That's good hustle.
Well, Giampaolo may have missed the field goal, and he did have one short kick, but twice now he has nailed it inside the 5-yard line and closer to the 1 on each occasion.
And remember what happened.
Back Yale.
Remember what happened the last time they were pinned down in the other end zone. All of a sudden, Bartholomew breaks out with what, a 41-yarder?
In a game so close, and when field position is so critical, Giampaolo's punting, you know, that could be the little thing that takes Harvard over the top. But they need to get some offense, but they got to get the ball back first. From the I formation, Bartholomew going nowhere.
Bartholomew carried for Yale.
Ben Green, free safety, coming up to support run. Along with Aaron Natale, the linebacker. Well, maybe Joe Waldo play fake can go up top here.
Well, you know what? Yeah, because they try to run maybe a little lead play, try to set things up, and then maybe roll out after you fake the handoff, and then get it deep. This Aaron Natale is really a fabulous football player. I really enjoy watching him float around the field and play that rover position, the outside linebacker position for Harvard.
And like Kazavensky, a 4-year starter. Bartholomew, see that quick burst, but he ran into Chris Nowinski.
Bartholomew again for Yale.
And then what did Natale do at the end there? You saw him just clip the play, turn it back inside. Nowinski's standing there, fights off the block and then makes the play.
Rashad Bartholomew runs a 4.49 so he's not slow. And he's a big running back. He's over 200 pounds. And he's somewhat of a load, and he picks it up, and he's running downhill when he hits you. He just exactly packs a punch when he runs.
One of the interesting things was to talk to him about opportunities. How do you use the opportunities that a place like Yale will provide for you once you graduate? And this young man's got his eyes firmly planted on his future as well as his present.
Wallen turns around, wants to call a timeout. You can see that Bartholomew has 57 yards, but 41 of them came on that one burst. 3-0 Yale is leading this football game.
The dangerous thing for Yale is they're allowing Harvard to sit in there and hang around.
Of course, Harvard playing without that man, Chris Mennick, over 3,000 yards in his career on the sideline. Hurt his knee last week, and the head football coach Tim Murphy knows that losing that guy and injuries are certainly a part of the game.
Compensates for that because the emotion we have from our 23 seniors and just the overall atmosphere of the game, I think, offsets that.
Well, Chris had a tremendous career. Again, over 3,000 yards. Had rushed for 969 yards this season before he hurt the right knee. Had over 1,200 yards as a sophomore. You know, it has to be painful, and he did want to play. There were rumors circulating that he was going to suit up today.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, you understand the fact that you'd be hurting your team more so than helping them by trying to participate.
3rd down and 8. Harvard obviously wants to stop here to get great field position. They nearly got a safety as Bartholomew couldn't turn the corner.
And that was Aaron Natale again, getting into the backfield, disrupting it, trying to blow the play up.
Along with R.D. Kern was there as well. Look at 83 close in.
And watch 48 right there. He almost traps him, and that's Natale. And then you're right. Here comes Isaiah Kazavinsky and almost makes the safety. It's right on the line of the goal line that he made the play.
Let's see if Harvard goes for the block with Johnson all the way to his end line. Back line of the end zone. Eric Johnson not with a good punt. And Harvard's going to get phenomenal field position. They're going to start from the 21-yard line of Yale.
They look like one of those pro golfers with a backspin on a chip shot, an approach shot. That ball hit it about the 25 and just spun back.
Well, the English was not very good there for Eric Johnson. I'm sure that was a punt that he'll forget about. But, you know, in the back of his mind, he knew he had to hurry because he only had 11 yards from the snap to the back of the end zone.
And the one thing you don't want to do in that situation if you're Harvard is go ahead and hit that punter after that ball's gone and give them a 1st down opportunity. In this case, it worked out. They didn't have the rush on.
Troy Jones is the setback behind Brad Wilford, number 4. Good look at the quarterback. Senior from Tucson, Arizona. Jones on the draw. He moves the pile down to the 16-yard line. Nice run. Bill Thompson with the tackle. But Troy Jones gains 5. You can see the clock running down to 1:45 left in the first half.
You know, and there's an opportunity on the backside of these plays, and I'm wondering if, and he almost took advantage of it that time. But you got to break the play back on the backside, and that means not to the side that the play was originally called, because the defenders in Yale are really flowing to the football.
Small in the fullback, number 32. Number 4, Troy Jones behind him. And it's a handoff and a lateral back to Wilford, and he misses Andy Freed, who was wide open at the 12-yard line. A little razzle-dazzle by the Crimson.
Yeah, they're pulling out all the stops as you normally do in the game. And here's just a case of, I think, getting a little nervous, Wilford did, on this play. Didn't take his time. He had all the time in the world, really, on that one.
He had Andy Freed available, who's got 3 touchdowns this year, sophomore from Orchard Park, New York.
It's Tim Murphy, the head coach of the Crimson. Done a nice job. I saw my old coach Joe Rustick is here at the game today, along with Tom Koza, who was a longtime coach for the Yale Bulldogs.
Harvard looking for its first conversion on 3rd down. Wilford again is flushed out of the pocket. Breaks the tackle to the 10. What a run by quarterback Brad Wilford.
On the keeper for Harvard.
Oh, that was strictly effort.
It was a beautiful effort for Wilford. And did you see what happened on the sideline? He made somebody miss now. Watch out here. He makes somebody look really bad. Hockenbrock, by the way, holding his elbow on that play. Fine outside. Watch the second effort right there. Just kind of runs over a safety or two. And that's Josh Phillips over on that edge that got run over.
And it will be 1st and goal. Nice talk about trying to get something accomplished in the big game of your career, your final game, as you see Jeff Hockenbrock go off, and he would be quite a loss.
Yeah, he had his elbow. He was holding his elbow, Randy. Got hit, looked like right on the tip of the elbow. So maybe it's not all that serious, and maybe that's why they just took him up the ramp.
Now, he's a tough guy. He's a martial arts instructor, so he's accustomed to pain. But let's see what Brad Wilford does here as he goes head-to-head just bowls right over Josh Phillips.
And sometimes in the game, when you know it's your last opportunity maybe to play organized football, you kind of sell out, and that's what Wilford did on that occasion. Jeff Hockenbrock is the guy who they are attending to right now. He's another wonderful young man, and says he probably wants to think about a business career once he's wrapped up here at Yale.
Played well against Harvard in the big game last year and recovered a couple fumbles.
He had a huge game last year.
Yeah, he really was terrific. In fact, he has received a letter from the Seahawks, so there are some NFL teams interested. Well, Harvard has a goal-to-go situation again with Troy Jones running down to the 7-yard line. Down to a minute remaining to the first half, and Yale clinging to a 3-0 lead.
And that play was really stopped from the backside. Eli Kelly pursued the play down the line of scrimmage and made the stop.
Second and goal at the 7.
And Troy Jones, bad ankles, injury-plagued career, but they have felt all along he could be a great running back for the Crimson. And he was spry this week in practice, getting to the hole quickly, and the coaching staff was excited that he was coming back just after Chris Medic was lost.
That's right. What a key time for him to get back and get healthy.
Something that you talked about before. We've got to get to it right now. We're going to talk about the NBA. The 1999-2000 NBA League Pass is available for 4 monthly payments of only $42.25. NBA League Pass gives you up to 8 games a night and as many as 40 regular season contests per week from outside your local area. With NBA League Pass, you'll see the teams, the players, the great matchups. You all want to watch that? You don't want to miss it. Just call 1-800-GET-SPORTS.
The beautiful thing is we've been watching the Bulls over the last decade or so in Chicago.
It used to be a beautiful thing.
That's exactly right. Now it's not so beautiful. So you want to see some other basketball teams.
Although Elton Bryant is a special player. Can Harvard get in? Wilford again scrambling.
He's got to receive open Jones if he can find him.
Got him. Touchdown, Troy Jones.
To Troy Jones for the Harvard touchdown.
What Jones did was float. Try to find an area in the end zone, float, get open.
That is Brad Wilford some credit. Exercising patience.
That's exactly right. Because what he did is he worked his way all the way right. Nothing there. Couldn't find a receiver open. Comes back the other way and hits Jones.
With 48 seconds left in the half, it is Harvard that leads 6-3. And Wilford was the man on that drive. That great scramble to keep it going, and the touchdown aerial to Troy Jones, and Giampaolo adds the extra point.
Here's another look at the play, and watch the patience, as we talked about earlier, of Wilford. All the way to the right, looking for that receiver to try to work back open in the end zone. Can't find him there. He sees Jones on the backside, and he just floated out, got behind a defender, and kind of hit himself until his quarterback saw him. There you see him, he's playing, just kind of backing up. And it says, oh gosh, please let me make this catch.
And you can't underscore enough that Joe Wallen's been getting all the headlines and all the attention. You know that Wilford, the other senior for the other squad, the Harvard quarterback, he wants that headline. He wants people to know who he is.
And I think they'll know after this play.
Only a 21-yard drive.
Randy, that's what I was saying, though, about allowing a team to hang around when you have to put them away in order to win a championship. If you allow a team to hang around and feel like they're in the game, then you got a major league problem. And now you see what's going on that Harvard side. So be ready, Yale. Buckle up, because this may be a long one for you.
John Patton's going to kick off for Harvard. Jake Fuller back deep to return. There's Wilford waving to his fans, and there's a great contingent of fans representing Harvard today from Cambridge. Of course, this is the big game, and tremendous crowd at the Yale Bowl in New Haven. And again, Yale won last year by 9-7. Harvard late in this first half, grabbing the lead at 7-3. Short kick, hit by one of the up men and covered by Yale. Smartly done. Yale does not want to lose the football. They were smartly ready to cover the ball, and it was Stewart falling on the ball. Stewart Setulo.
And you know what was interesting? Watching the JV game yesterday, as we get some scores here, this is a Harvard-Yale score, of course. And watching the JV game, what a fun game that was. And gives you a great opportunity to kind of understand how this thing all gets started.
Pennsylvania late in the second quarter ahead of Cornell. Princeton the same with Dartmouth. Low scoring games today in the H&8 as Brown leading. And you can see Ohio State in the Big Ten surprising Michigan. And Wallen can't get away.
And there's another play by that guy over there, defensive end for Harvard, Mike Sands, number 99. It's about the third or fourth big play he's made for them so far on the day. That time he traps Joe as he tried to get outside and get out of the pocket.
Wallen going to the sideline after the timeout. Fosstone Productions coverage of the Ivy League on DirecTV is meant for the exclusive viewing of DirecTV and its subscribers. Any use, reuse, or retransmission of today's broadcast without the express written consent of the Ivy League is strictly prohibited.
And Bill Stone, of course, heads up that organization. He's quite a piece of work, too, isn't he?
He's an interesting guy. So is George Veras is working with us as well.
That's
today.
right.
George helped producing and directing.
George and I go back a long, long way to our days at CBS together. What a wonderful producer and director he was.
And all the guys with Fosstone and DirecTV excited about the game. It's the second year in a row DirecTV has covered the football game with Fosstone Productions, and it is really terrific to be part of this special event. And coming up, started in January, we'll have the Ivy League Friday night package, the basketball package. And I'll tell you, even though Penn lost to Kentucky earlier this week, Penn's got quite a basketball team.
Indeed they do, and it's always fun to watch Ivy sports to me. You know, sitting in the Midwest, sometimes you don't get that many opportunities, and certainly that Friday night package affords you that kind of opportunity.
Second down and 11 in the waning seconds of the first half. Yale looking for a big play right before intermission. Going underneath. That's not going to get it done. Not the short stuff.
Now you'll give the offense all the underneath stuff. You just don't want anybody getting downfield. But to me, one of the things that you should probe a little bit is the middle of that field.
Tommy McNamara's first catch of the day. Wallen again to McNamara. Working the sideline, and he has a first down to the 37-yard line of Harvard with 6 seconds remaining.
The play's good for Yale first down.
Well, Tommy McNamara on this drive. 2 receptions.
38.
Wallen's got a chance. He can reach the end zone from there.
He's got an opportunity here to go.
He goes short again.
He's working himself in the field goal.
That's a nice job with 4 seconds remaining. McNamara catching 3 in succession. And here comes the field goal unit.
The first down for Yale.
There's a quick hitter outside. But the secondary, Harvard's all over that one. That play was made by Sean Parker, free safety.
Barab checked from 42 yards near hash mark. Tremendous job by Wallen, bringing his team downfield. That won't get there. It'll be wide left as well. A tremendous drive by Wallen, but they missed the field goal. And Harvard, the underdog, trying to spoil Yale's season and win the big game. And spoil an opportunity for the Ivy League championship, at least a share of it with Brown. Yale goes back into the locker room down by 4.
You cannot afford, if you're Yale, to allow a team like Harvard to hang around, as I said earlier today.
Let's go to Christine Brennan.
Coach, this has been a game so far of defensive struggle and field position, basically. Were you expecting that?
Well, the field position really hurt us, obviously. We got the ball twice at the 1-yard line. You know, our quarterback's a little hurting. I think he's kind of finding himself a little bit there in the second quarter. You know, hopefully he's going to be okay in the second half. We'll get it going a little bit.
With Harvard scoring late in the game, then you had the chance, of course, to come back in this first half here. What do you tell the players at halftime?
We just got to keep playing. We just got to keep playing hard. We're playing tremendous defense. We lost that. You know, they got the touchdown because of the field position. And, you know, we've got to turn them over and make the field position for ourselves and just keep playing hard.
Okay, Coach, thank you very much. Guys, back to you.
Well, Jack Sidlecki's ball club is behind. They are the favorite, but in the big game, anything can happen. And a touchdown pass, Wilford to Jones, has given the Harvard Crimson the lead by 7-3.
Who is Steve Vision? It's guys who put it all on the line. Guys like Andy Green, who can't go fast enough, and Alan Shepard, who did all of his best driving on the moon. Think of Kenny Roberts grinding the toe off his boot, the Intimidator, and those guys with the right stuff. But you get the point. So turn on Speed Vision. Where men are men, and insurance agents are nervous.
At the NBA Moms 3-on-3, Shaq's mom dominates.
I don't know how they're going to beat her.
But anyone who watches NBA League Pass knows there's only one possible way to stop a Shaq.
Put her on the line.
NBA League Pass on DirecTV brings you the matchups and players you want with up to 40 games a week. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS, and for just 4 payments of $42.25, you can spend some quality time with your NBA family.
If only you listen to your mama.
A quiet morning in Cambridge, Massachusetts is anything but for the young minds and bodies that is Harvard University. With one of the broadest undergraduate programs in the country, students may concentrate in any of 44 fields. Harvard's 6,700 students are not necessarily geniuses. Instead, they are the best all-around young individuals, those with energy, innovation, and creativity to enliven a classroom. Harvard's graduation rate is 97%, 70% with honors. The student population is diverse, with as many as 40 countries represented. Harvard's experience is not restricted to the classroom. The motto is athletics for all. The university sponsors 41 varsity teams and has more than 1,500 student athletes. Great students, great programs, and a great location. This is Harvard University. There is the Yale Bulldog here at New Haven. Harvard ahead of Yale by 7-3. Of course, the great legend who threw all those touchdown patches for Yale is Brian Dowland, and he has some special guests.
We already got 5 goals.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with presidents of Harvard and Yale, Neil Rudenstein and Rick Levin. And Rick, did you order this weather here today?
It's a beautiful day, and we have a wonderful crowd here at the Bowl. It's really probably the biggest crowd in at least 10 years. It's terrific.
Gentlemen, both of you have just finished very successful capital campaigns, and part of that has been a renovation and an addition of a lot of the athletic facilities. How important that is that to attract good students?
I think it's very important from the point of view of this is a generation of students who like to exercise, who like to do all sorts of not only varsity but intramural and other kinds of activities. We need the facilities, and it's not so much because everybody's out to win every game. It's really more part of the educational system.
With both schools probably leading the country in the amount of varsity sports added, you also have an incredible number of people participating in intramurals.
Absolutely. Probably half the students at Yale participate in intramurals, and with our new fitness center, must be 3/4 of them that are there at least several times a week. It's unbelievable.
Why didn't we have these when we were undergraduates?
Nobody knew about fitness.
Gentlemen, any predictions for the second half? Rick?
Well, I have to predict that Yale will come back and win the ball game, but it's been such a great season. You have to give Jack Sidlecki so much credit for taking this team from the bottom to the very top. It's been a really exciting year for Yale football.
Both of you have to be very pleased with the turnarounds that both programs have made. Tim's done the same thing, 2 years from the bottom of the top, and Jack the same thing.
Yeah, no, we're very happy, and I think this year we just had a lot of cliffhangers, as you probably know, settled in the last minute, and we expect to make sure that all of them go our way next time around.
Well, thanks, gentlemen, for being with us, and the only thing we can predict for the second half is it's going to be unpredictable. Thanks, guys, and back up to you.
Thank you, Brian. Of course, every big game is unpredictable. This one, no different. At the intermission, it is Harvard, the underdog, with the scant 7-3 advantage over the Yale Bulldogs.
This month on Stars.
You have something they want. I don't have anything.
It's movies, new hit movies.
I blew up the building. Why? Because you made a phone call.
More new hit movies in prime time.
Things are looking up, Birdie.
Movies you'll see first on Stars, only on Stars. Don't miss these great movies on Stars.
Thank you for tuning in. And remember, let go, give in.
watch your favorite players' favorite players?
I like to watch Steve Young. After every throw, he holds his hand like this. And, you know, it's picture perfect.
Order NFL Sunday Ticket right now and get the rest of the '99 regular season, plus all of the 2000 regular season for just $189.
I like to watch Dan Marino.
Dan Marino succeeds in a ski boot.
It's the quick release. I mean, it's so fast.
Get up to 13 games every Sunday through next season with NFL Sunday Ticket.
You watch this game long enough, you see it all.
We are determined to deliver the best entertainment.
Some very powerful words.
Yes. HBO The Works brings you massive movies, original series, provocative documentaries.
What you stand for, is that right?
Oh, that's right. Exclusive sports, and shows for the whole family.
I'm Henny Penny, and that's the scoop.
Go for our 7 big channels packed with excitement. There's always a thrill on DirecTV.
They're dancing in the stands here. Harvard is ahead of Yale 7-3. Of course, this is the Yale Bowl. It's been around since 1914. And we expect, and we are having another classic. And at the break at 7-3, the Harvard Crimson Tide getting a late touchdown in that second quarter grabbed the lead. Randy Rosenbaum along with Dan Jiggets. And Dan, it was an entertaining first half. I think the most surprising thing to me is the ability that Bartholomew had not only to break the ball and take it downfield with the 41-yard gain, but to run the football. I think that gave Yale a little bit of an extra dimension in the first half.
It really did. And you talk about the war of field position. Yale found themselves on the 1 or 2 yard line, and all of a sudden Bartholomew, he hits the ball straight up the field, and that's the one thing his offensive linemen, I know, want him to do, is attack that the Harvard defense straight up the field. And when he did that, got an opportunity, bounced, hit the secondary, and he was gone 41 yards and really got Yale some good field position on the play.
Harvard has done an excellent job of getting after it and going after quarterback Joe Wallen.
Yeah, Joe Wallen is a guy that has been getting on the perimeter, but really hasn't been able to spring himself for anything deep, to throw the ball deep, and that's caused Yale some big problems today. And Harvard's defense, credit them for playing pretty well.
Talking about Rashad Bartholomew, that outstanding running back. Let's take a look at that 41-yard run. Starting from the 1 yard line, he broke it out across the 40.
And here he's that one guy to beat, and that was Alford, and he couldn't do it. But I tell you one thing, he made a big difference in the field position war. And here's just a great play by Terrence Patterson over on the sideline on the fade route. And then Wilford makes an outstanding play here. Scrambles around, can't find anybody to the right, goes back to the left and finds Troy Jones all alone in the end zone for the only touchdown of the football game.
You talk about senior leadership. It's so vital, so critical in a game like this. Harvard has 23 seniors playing in this game. Wilford, one of them. Jones, one of them, and they're the two that locked up on that big play.
And, you know, again, it was one of those plays where you say, you know, can something big happen in this game? And certainly it did. One of the things you don't want to do if you are Yale, and that is, as we talked about earlier, allow a team like Harvard, who's played well, they've lost 4 games by a total of 15 points. That tells you that's an awfully good football team. You know they have a good defense. If you allow them to hang around and don't play that field position war right, at the end of this game, you'll be knocked out of that championship level.
I think you can safely say Harvard's as good as anybody in the Ivy League. They just haven't gotten the breaks in some of those close games.
That's exactly right. And Jack Sidelecki was telling us the fact that also, you look at Yale and what they've done offensively over the last couple of weeks. They've played some of the toughest defenses in this conference. So that doesn't help you at all. You know, you don't get the numbers and look like you want to look, or like you did early in the season.
Well, Yale's had a great season of football, regardless of the outcome today. They're 8-1 coming in. The first time they've won 8 straight since 1981. And it is also a wonderful university. So let's take a closer look at Yale.
For nearly 3 centuries, Yale University has set the standard for excellence in undergraduate education. And today is internationally recognized as a center of research and scholarship. More than 10,000 gifted students from all over the world learn in an environment that stimulates curiosity, focuses interests, develops expertise, and encourages students to achieve their full potential. Yale offers both students and the public diverse cultural activities through its museums, theaters, orchestras, and world-class libraries. Yale students become part of a family of scholars, dedicated to learning, achievement, and public service throughout the world. As it enters its 4th century, Yale continues its tradition of excellence, preparing the next generation of leaders to meet the challenges of the future.
And some of the pomp and circumstance here. The Yale band. Let's listen to it. The Yale band at Harvard has the lead at halftime over the Bulldogs by 4.
Sweetie, that must be the Martins. Can you get it?
Got it, honey. Want to make an impact on the new neighbors? Invite them over for NBA League Pass. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get up to 40 games a week from outside your local area.
It's the Rocket!
You'll pay just $169. So why wait? Let the magic move you.
My, what a lovely... Whoa.
Only one network delivers more golf than anywhere else.
The Golf Channel brings you everything you want to know, watch, and enjoy from past and present in the world of golf.
More live call-in golf chat.
And instruction with top teaching professionals. More up-to-the-minute nightly golf news, worldwide tournaments, plus early round coverage of premier PGA Tour events.
And much more. The Golf Channel. More golf.
Of course, coming up, we're going to have some exciting hoops here. It's 7-3, Ivy League football on DirecTV with Harvard ahead of Yale. But the exciting Ivy League Friday night basketball package is a wonderful, wonderful event each and every Friday, beginning January 7th through March 7th. And to order the Total Choice Gold or Total Choice Platinum, call 1-800-547-4DTV. And some of those matchups beginning January 7th, we're going to have the ladies as well. Dartmouth at Harvard. That's a women's event. Andrew Riley and Christine Brennan will be on that call. Then starting January 14th, Cornell's got a very good basketball team at Columbia. Brown and Yale, we had that matchup on DirecTV last year. Princeton always very good. They got Tim Young in the middle, great center at Cornell. Penn, who's outstanding, figures to be the favorite at Yale. Penn Quakers have Michael Jordan, big number 23, is an outstanding ball player. Lost that tough game the other evening at Kentucky, but they played very hard for a half and nearly had the lead going back into the locker room. Dartmouth and Princeton. Dartmouth has all 5 starters back this year. They lost their opening game last year and came on strong, but this year they got out of the gate quickly with a victory already, and they look to be a real contender. Dartmouth, they have a young man by the name of Sean G, who's outstanding. Cornell at Penn, that's going to be a wonderful game on February 18th. Then there's Penn at Dartmouth, Harvard at Columbia, and then that great doubleheader, which could be for the men's and women's Ivy League championship. It's kind of like the equivalent, one might say, of the Harvard-Yale football game. Penn at Princeton in basketball, both men and women. Just a wonderful event on Tuesday, our special Tuesday, March 7th version, Penn at Princeton. Of course, before we get to these Ivy League basketball games, Harvard has some business to do, as does Yale. You see Yale lined up in the locker room and in that tunnel, ready to burst back out on the scene. Statistically, in the first 30 minutes of play, not much rushing. The Yale yard is all Rashad Bartholomew. The passing game, that would surprise many. Harvard got 114 yards in the air. Wilford did a nice job in that second quarter, scrambling and hitting his targets. first downs pretty much equal. Penalties were negligible, and I think what makes both coaches so happy, Dan Jiggets, no turnovers in that
That's
first
exactly
half.
right. Coaches always look at that and say, well, at least we're giving ourselves an opportunity in the football game by not giving up with turnovers. But, you know, I will count that one, Terrence Patterson muffled the punt as a turnover to me because it changed field position so dramatically. And I know that that's one mistake that Terrence made. He's made a lot of right moves in this game as well.
And, of course, Harvard took over in good field position after a short punt at halftime. Cornell is ahead of Pennsylvania by 10-6, another Ivy League action this morning. Princeton 9-0 over Dartmouth in the second quarter. And Brown, if they win, they could claim the championship. They came in tied at 5-1 in the Ivy League with Yale. If they win, they guarantee at least a tie for the crown. But if Yale falls here, Jack Sidlecki's ball club loses as he takes a look at the Lightning show. He's looking around. And here's Crimson lined up ready to come back in. The Crimson of Harvard. Of course, if Brown would win that game and Yale loses, Brown gets the outright championship. Here comes the Harvard Crimson back onto the field.
I think that would be Brown's second Ivy League championship, and they waited a long, long time for it. And you see the numbers there. Dartmouth way out in front of everyone else. Of course, Yale, Penn, and Harvard rounding out that top group.
Well, Yale looking for 13 with 13 seniors. Dartmouth
you know
at
what,
the top of the chart.
Harvard should have one more. And that was when we came down my sophomore year here. There was a situation much like this one where we were riding high, looking good. We just needed to win to go ahead and solidify the championship. Yale was about 3-6. And we came out before we could get on the field comfortably offensively. The score was 21-0. We made a mistake the day before by making fun of some of the guys.
Right.
Yale,
you don't want to do that.
I'm telling you, you keep your eye on the prize and forget about all the other stuff.
Well, Yale has not burst onto the scene yet. Last outright title.
Coach Sidlecki is down at the tunnel, but I don't see the rest of the football team. They're getting a little talking to, maybe.
And again, Yale's won the crown in the Ivy League in 69, 79, 89. And now they're looking for 99. See Yale split the title with Brown in 1976. And here come the Yale Bulldogs. Yale 8 wins in a row coming in. They lost a heartbreaking game to Brown, 25-24 to begin the season when they actually had the lead with 14 seconds left. Brown scored to make it 24-23. Yale, they went for the point after. It was blocked, picked up, and lateral, and brought in for a 2-point conversion by Brown to stun Yale 25-24. That's the only blemish on the Yale record.
Yeah, and you know, I guess the good news is for them it came early, so they got on that roll after that. But today, all of that stuff is forgotten about. The only thing they can hear about is beating Harvard.
Back when most of the players commented about this game, Dan, they didn't even talk about the championship. Gee, we got to beat our arch rival.
Right. Let's watch body language as we begin this this second half. See who looks like they have the edge with their body language.
Well, Coach Tim Murphy came in very confident, felt his club had a great chance to win. They've been in every game this year, and he felt this would be no difference. And through 30 minutes, he's right on, and he has done a great job coming out of the locker room with adjustments.
Yeah, and you know what, and as a result, they usually come out of the locker room, and that first scoring opportunity, they take advantage of it. And that's something that I'm sure Jack Sidlecki has on his mind right now, is the fact that Harvard does come out in the second half, make those fine adjustments, and then get on the board.
A reminder that Yale shuttle buses back to campus will be loading on Yale.
You know, down in Georgia, they call him Ugga. Here, they just call him Bulldog. What a cute dog. Well, I guess it's an acquired taste.
Looks like he has a pretty good appetite.
Looking for some crimson right about now.
Reams with great speed, back deep. Keith Reams along with Jake Fuller. Harvard to kick off to Yale. John Patton, number 21. senior from Social Circle, Georgia. Advancing on the ball. Jake Fuller will return from his 7-yard line. Mike Madden did a good job getting downfield to trip up Jake Fuller.
And that's the thing, too. You know, you look at the special teams guys. Clint Kohler was another guy who was in there calling to make the stop. It's a nice thing about the, you get everybody involved in one area or another of the football team. And special teams, as you well know, Randy, can be as important as anything else that goes on the field when you look at the amount of yardage that's taken up in special teams.
Lemonade Walland under 100 yards in the first half, 9 of 16 through the air. Bartholomew. Short game.
I think the play is still going on, isn't it? It was like a rugby scrum.
Harvard only allows 84 yards a game on the ground. This is a veteran group. Mike Sands, the senior defensive end, with the stop. And this is a quality defense that Rashad Bartholomew is running against.
Yeah, it really is. And, once again, Mike Sands with another big play from his defensive end position. What they do is they try to contain your run game and force you back and funnel you back into the middle of their defense.
Slot right for the Bulldogs. Wallen looking to pull the trigger. Forced to run. And then throws it away. And again, it was Mike Sands. Well, he's been draped all over Joe Wallen this afternoon.
Yeah, and you really have to credit once again the secondary of Harvard doing a nice job there.
Sands is one of those converted linebackers brought in to play the down line spot, and he's so quick off the ball. He's got that background of being a linebacker.
That's right, and he's also got the football background. I believe it was his grandfather that played football at Harvard back in the 40s. So, got those bloodlines, if you will.
Third down, 8 to go for Yale. First series of downs in the third quarter. Harvard's defense has been stingy. Wallen finds Johnson. First down to the 47-yard line. Aaron Natale with the tackle, but Eric Johnson with another reception.
And the thing that happened in this play is Yale didn't give up on it. Nowinski in there with the pressure. You saw how the quarterback just steps up, stays with his receiver, Johnson. And once again, Madden, if you're covering on that play, you got to stick with that guy, because this quarterback, Wallen, will never give up on a play.
Big third down conversion by number 7. And again, he makes plays. He is a playmaker. Pursued by Sands again. Wallen unloads. Well, they were confident today. They have a lot of sunshine, and you can see the Jack's beautiful sunglasses being displayed. Those are the ones that have the Miami Dolphins logo on them.
Let me ask you a question, my friend. We are the beloved Bear glasses.
I'm sure they're somewhere in attendance, but that's a man who's confident that there was going to be a lot of sunshine today. Beautiful sunglasses. I like that style.
Get on your motorcycle then, right?
I was checking out on the web and I saw this company Jack's, and they had those sunglasses. Those are very nice. Here's another pitch and catch to McNamara. He's stopped by Zakarovich. Very close to a first down.
Let me ask you something. Those sunglasses, do they make them with Harvard and Yale insignias on them?
I think that's coming.
Okay.
I think that's next. Third down and 1. Out of the shotgun. Trips to the right side.
Blitz up the middle.
Another perfect strike. This one to James Schroeder.
Pressure came right up the gut of the defense that time, and Joe Wallen did a nice job of getting rid of this football. Watch right up in his face. You see some of the pressure there, and then he just dumps it off underneath.
Hurry up offense for Yale, changing the pace of the game. Wallen calling the play from the gun. This is Gordon slipping down as he ran into Zakarovich, but Borg slipped down as he tried to turn it upfield.
Now, you want to know what goes on the offensive line and how aggressive people can be. Isaiah Kaczynski that time tried to leap over and do one of those LeVar Arrington type plays, and just leap over the offensive blocker and trying to get to the quarterback.
Second down, 6 to go for the Bulldogs. A sustained drive to begin the third quarter. Johnson, first down inside the 25. Out of bounds at the 22-yard line.
Johnson working out in the flat against Mike Madden. And that's a tough matchup for Madden right now because he's working man-to-man against him. You see him dropping back into coverage and just got to clamp down on that thing and get a little bit closer to the receiver. He's going to be having a field day on you.
Eric Johnson has become the greatest Yale receiver in a single season today with 7 catches. He's up to 53 on the season. 7 for 88 yards. Wallen being chased by Sands again and dragged down. A terrific play by right end Mike Sands.
Mike Sands is having a sensational day at defensive end for the Crimson. This is about the 7th or 8th big play that he's made in this football game. I mean, huge difference maker plays. Here he just continues with the pursuit and the speed, and we talked about that earlier, the fact that he was once a linebacker, now moved to defensive end. He kind of lulls people to sleep with that speed.
He has been playing better than anyone on that defensive front this year for Harvard. That includes Chris Kowinski. Second down at 22. Wallen again looking for a receiver. Will run it upfield. Steps out of bounds at the 29-yard line of the Crimson. Now, this guy is lightning every time he has the ball. And he is so composed. Veteran player. Came in here as a wide receiver defensive back. Pleaded his case. Wanted to be a quarterback. And as a sophomore won the job. 4 of 12 on third down conversions for the Bulldogs.
Neither team doing very well on third down conversions.
18 yards needed. Wonderful reception on that far sideline by McNamara, working against Kane Waller. It'll be fourth down at about 9. 8 or 9 to go, and the field goal unit will come on.
Watch the play on the sideline. And gets about half of what he needed for a first down over there on the sideline, and that's just an outstanding catch on that sideline.
Moravchik 1 of 2 today. He hit from 44, missed from 42. This one from 37 is blocked and picked up by Harvard. Racing down the far sideline, Mike Brooks going the distance. There'll be a celebrating penalty against Harvard, but they have the touchdown. Mike Brooks.
Mike Brooks got to the end zone and did this nasty plunge. You heard the double thud. When you hear the double thud, you know something bad has happened for the kicking team.
A look of shock for the spectators at Yale. The kick was blocked, and Brooks scooped it up and ran it in.
Not more than 10 minutes ago, we were talking about the importance of special teams and how that adds into the mix, the final mix of a game. Here's a case where Harvard comes up with a big play on special teams, and maybe it turns this game around. See where the block comes from. It comes off the edge. That's number 24, Sean Parker, who blocks it. And then number 25, Mike Brooks takes it back. He's a strong safety, so you know he's got pretty decent speed, and he's off to the races and into the end zone. There was a penalty for excessive celebration after that touchdown.
Well, that lead cost his team 15 yards, but you can see that is a very happy camper, Mike Brooks. So the extra point from Giampaolo will be from 35 yards out. To make it 14-3, Crimson. And he's got it. Parker with the block, Brooks with the return for the touchdown.
special teams playing a big role in the game today. When you think about Terrence Patterson with the good returns for Harvard, and they're untouched. Is the block, then the pickup, Sands chasing the play, but this one's gone.
Look at that Harvard sideline, knowing that Brooks was going to take it the distance, and there's the leap.
He runs a 4.540, so you think about catching him, forget about it. Gets out and gets a lead on you, he's gone. He's out of Bishop McNamara High School in Charlotte, Maryland.
I'll see how that affects the Yale. They had marched down the field trying to get a field goal to move to within one as you look at Parker, who blocked the ball. Now Yale has to look up at the scoreboard and realize they're down by 11 after that turn of event.
This is a championship ball club. They know how to come back from a situation like this.
John Patton will kick off, and that sideline of Harvard is alive, knowing that they're in control right now, 14-3.
Now the thing is for Harvard is don't start playing like you've got a lead. You know, you kind of get a little nervous maybe when you're in a game like this and you've got a lead, you try to protect it. Continue to play ball.
But Harvard's offense is better when they have the lead because their attack is on the ground normally anyway.
So you can burn clock and keep the game rolling.
And Yale, on the flip side, has the kind of offense that can come from behind. They can spread the field and throw it. Short kick by Patton. Fuller across the 30-yard line with a good return out across the 35. Big Fuller with a full head of speed. Andy Freed with the tackle. The last 4 times Yale had a championship opportunity to get the Ivy League title against Harvard right here. All 4 times Harvard has knocked them off. Will it be 5 in a row? Right now, the answer is yes. First down out at the 37-yard line for Yale. Now by 11 points. Early on in the third quarter. A lot of action here in the third.
Here's the blitz.
Far side to McNamara. Makes the catch out at the 40-yard line.
Kazovinsky was coming in on the blitz, and it was great. Joe Wallen just looked him right in the eye and flipped the ball right over the top of him. That's courage on the part of your quarterback and a good reception over in the sideline by Tommy McNamara.
If you're down by 11, number 7 is the guy you want in the game, though, and on your side, because he is a warrior. Double slat alignment. Wallen again has Eric Johnson to the 48 of Harvard. You know, when given time, he won't miss.
That's
Joe
exactly
Wallen.
right. You know what's funny? We were talking with Coach Sidlecki about Wallen and the fact that he asked him to switch to quarterback. And they really weren't too reluctant to let him do it, but they weren't sure what they were getting. And what they've gotten is a fine quarterback out of that whole switch.
Very humble, doesn't want to talk about his records. Wants victory. To the sideline, too tall for Jake Fuller.
The pass was meant for Fuller. Waller on the coverage, 2nd and 10.
Christine Brennan on the Yale bench. I wonder if you can get a pulse on what's going on there.
A pulse, yes. Right now, Randy, you almost have to wonder if there is a pulse. But from the standpoint of what's happening right now is shock. And it's the sense here that while they're moving the ball, the quarterback, of course, Joe Wallen, there's some concern about his injury, as Coach Sidlecki told us. And he doesn't look to be his old self. That's what several of the players have told me.
He looks sharp on that throw.
There.
Again, finding his favorite target, Eric Johnson. Zakarovich stands him up at that point.
I would think that if I'm on the Harvard defense, I kind of keep a closer eye on Johnson. I might want to have a couple of guys covering him downfield. Let's see, in the first half, he was very active in the passing game. 5 receptions in the first half, and he's got 2 so far, I believe, in the second half.
They're down and 1. Yale exclusively in the air. Now to drive the football and score a touchdown, get right back in the hunt. Plenty of time for Wallen and the Bulldogs. The deep ball for Fuller. Knocked away by Kane Waller.
What a play. There was some bumping going on down the sideline. That looked like an NFL type play along the sideline. Kane Waller makes an excellent defensive play by knocking the ball away with his inside hand.
Well, they're attacking an all-conference cornerback.
Once again, here's a play, just knocks it away cleanly, but you saw some bumping and grinding going on down that sideline.
Looked like Jake Fuller pushed. 4th down and 1, they're going for it. Here's the pass and catch to Johnson for the first down.
Like I said earlier, I keep a closer eye on him. You know that he's a go-to guy in this offense for Yale. So defensively, you got to clamp down on this guy, stay closer on him than he'd like. Joe Wallen just pops out, pops the ball downfield to his main guy.
10 receptions in this game for Eric Johnson. We still have 8:36 left in the 3rd quarter for 113 yards.
That's one of the first times we saw Yale stretch the field on that previous play to Fuller.
Just missed Johnson as Wallen was forced to unload as Mike Matt, the rover back, was after the quarterback and hammered Wallen as he released the ball.
Yeah, and that could have been a knockout blow for Johnson because that ball was so far out in front of him, he was stretched out. And there's a strong possibility he was going to get a shot from one of the defensive backs.
Yale not utilizing the huddle. Pass break offense. 8:30 left, 3rd quarter. Yale looking to overcome an 11-point deficit. Wallen will tuck it under. Races down to the 30-yard line.
But he sets himself up in pretty good position for 3rd down. A very patient drive on the part of Yale, and that's what you want out of your offense. A drive that's going to use up some clock, work down the field, and get yourself in scoring position.
If they don't make it here, it would be about a 47-yard field goal attempt. But they're thinking 6 at this stage. 3rd down and 6. Wallen throwing has Johnson. Johnson has first down yardage to the 17. Covered by Isaiah Kazavinsky.
And once again, Johnson has the ability to work himself open in the passing game. Eric Johnson, the wide receivers, made a huge difference for Yale today. It's kind of rivaling that kind of game Gary Finsick had when we played against each other back in the 70s. Gary caught about 15 passes.
Yeah, this has been a gut check drive for Yale after the blocked field goal taken back by Harvard for a touchdown. Yale's coming right down the field. And Wallen is running. Give him the 15 to the 10. He's to the 8-yard line. Joe Wallen wants so desperately to win the Ivy League championship, he's taking his team on his back.
And here we started off on the wrong note. We were 1-9, and it really, tells the character of our team and how we were able to turn things around in such a short period of time. And just to win an Ivy championship is great. It's going to be a great feeling.
Well, Joe Wallen with a run there. We'll have to measure. Gained nearly 10. Man picked up to 10.
It's just like a short inch by inches.
He was stranded at the New Haven airport when he was recruited for 6 hours. Wasn't too happy about that with bad weather. But then he went on campus after the problems at the airport and loved the people there. Nearly went to Harvard, but he was sold by the atmosphere of Yale. Now he's trying to beat Harvard and claim a championship. Driving his team downfield. It's 2nd down and inches inside the Crimson 10-yard line. There's the throw to McNamara. Touchdown! Marvelous drive by Yale.
Very well constructed drive. And the whole key is, again, patience and allowing the game to come to you a little bit, and that's exactly what they did.
Lab check for the point after. It's a 4-point game. Joe Wallen finding Tommy McNamara. One senior finds another.
And again, when you're on that goal line, don't drop back into the end zone trying to make your coverage or close to the goal line, because if you do then and they make the reception, it's a touchdown. Another look at it and watch the linebackers for Harvard. They're playing too deep. They allow the receiver up underneath. And by the time they can react, he's into the end zone.
But I can't say enough about this touchdown drive led by Joe Wallen after the block field goal to come back down the field and get that kind of execution.
Yeah, you know, it's just that's a reconfirmation of what you know, what you've done all season long. As I said before, this is a championship type of ball club, and you know their confidence is in the game. 9-yard touchdown strike there to Tommy McNamara. Look at the time and the yardage on the play. Awfully good.
And they didn't look to run the football at all. Strictly in the air. They just put their quarterback Joe Wallen in the shotgun, and he went to work.
A lot of chip shots to the wideouts, you know, not deep stuff, just working it underneath.
Please order the ESPN Full Court from DirecTV and choose from hundreds of NCAA Division I regular season games. See top contests from top conferences, including the ACC, the Big Ten, the Big East, the SEC, Atlantic 10, Conference USA, of course, the Ivy League, and much more for only $89 or 2 payments of $44.50. Just give them a call, 1-800-GET-SPORTS on DirecTV. Well, you got a great one today. Harvard ahead of Yale by 14-10. Goes out of bounds, and Harvard will start from its 35-yard line.
And that, in reality, is winning the field position war there on a kickoff. You get that ball up at the 35.
Yale won 9-7 last year. Harvard had won the 3 years prior to that.
You know, Coach Sidlecki told us that he's never had a bad practice with his football team. He says these guys come in ready to practice every day, ready to play on Saturdays. And he says you really never had to kind of address that, you know, that downtime.
Well, Harvard's lost a lot of close games down the stretch. They have the lead here. They don't want this one to slip away. Play fake by Wilford. He's done this effectively all afternoon. That was nearly intercepted. Jeff White, number 55, was over to that sideline, and that would have been a big turnaround for Yale.
You go back to the huddle and you tell your guy, your quarterback, remember, we're wearing the white jerseys.
Right. You know, you sense the swing of momentum back
exactly.
to Yale.
That's exactly right, and that's why I'm saying that you find yourself in this position. How do you come out and attack the opposition? Then you kind of lay back a little bit, play soft, but you come out as aggressive as you were when you were trailing in the game.
2nd down and 10 for the Crimson. Troy Jones for 2 or 3 yards, covered by Jeff Hockenbrock, number 91, who was banged up in the first half. Number 91 is back in. Jack Sidlecki, again, his team has turned the momentum around, but he's talking to those coaches upstairs saying, get me a defensive stop, let's get that offense back on the field. And the fans very much alive here at the Yale Bowl. 3rd and 7. Wilford nearly sacked, got away from Kelly. Rosa with a magnificent effort, but they said he was outside the boundary. That freshman maybe, just maybe, came up with a magnificent grab, but missed by an eyelash.
Oh, the primo effort along the sideline, even if this one isn't good. Well, look at that one. Look at that attempt.
It looked like he got
down.
in.
His knee came down. It looked like in the field of play.
What a catch by Rosa. Tomic returning from his 10. Weaving to the 24-yard line. We will go to break. Yale has come back to within 4. When they come back on the field, they'll be gunning for the lead.
High hands. Hey, Coach Majerus. Can't wait for the season to begin? Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and get ESPN Full Court. Order right now and pay just $89 or 2 payments of $44.50.
You backdoor, you post up, you stop eating dirt.
You make the call. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS. Order ESPN Full Court today.
And remember, guys, you can't coach size.
To 10, Harvard is leading. Yale will start from its 25, but it looked like Wilford and Creamerosa teamed up on a big-time play. Great scramble.
Wonderful scramble there. Avoids the rush, gets outside, and looks downfield and finds Creamerosa along the sideline. Now, in college football, you just have to have 1 foot in, 1 knee in, and that looks to me like that is a completion. Now, of course, he got rolled out after that. This looks like, look at this effort. You give the guy the catch for nothing else but the effort. But you saw there his right knee hit inbounds, and then he skidded out.
Wonder if the official felt he didn't have control of the ball. They're not reviewing it, by the way. They're holding a player for a moment, but they're not reviewing the play.
We'll review it for him. How's that?
That's okay. No replay.
So we made the decision pretty quickly, didn't we?
I would say I'd overturn it and give him the first down.
Yeah, but you're not wearing blue and white. They don't want to do that.
Well, the team wearing blue and white needs to come back here, but they just had a marvelous touchdown drive, the Yale Bulldogs. They're waiting on the chains to be moved out, and as we look at the quarterback comparison, both players have done their job today. Good numbers on both sides.
Indeed, and look at the quarterback comparison. Joe Wallen has just gone wild, and really most of it in the second half. The headset cords are tangled up with the chain gang. They've got a nice mess going on over there. How many times does that happen while you're maybe working in your yard or something like that?
You have to have great dexterity to be able to move those chains and not tangle them up. 14-10, everything is set, ready to go. Here comes the Yale offense. We're at the Yale Bowl. You can see a tremendous crowd of better than 40,000.
I guess that's what you would call a chain reaction.
I'll stay away from that one. How about the second half numbers of Joe Wallen? Very good, very accurate.
Excellent numbers in the second half.
Eric Johnson's been his favorite target. This one for Fuller is knocked away.
And that's a great play by Aaron Natale, getting back there, playing that deep as a linebacker. Now he's back about 15 to 20 yards in the secondary and knocks this one away. The problem for Harvard right now, not a whole lot of pressure on Wallen. And as a result, he's able to sit back there and look for his receivers deep.
Nice to have a linebacker can drift back like that.
It really is, yeah.
Pass coverage. He had 13 tackles, did Natale, last week against Penn.
Now here's some pressure.
Johnson wide open to the 41-yard line, and he nearly broke away from Natale. You can see that Wallen is limping to the line of scrimmage. Eric Johnson has been unstoppable in this game.
He really has. This is his 12th reception of the game. He's running an out pattern, and you see there, just makes the stop.
Twelve catches and 5.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. Tommy McNamara's turn. Near midfield.
Pass was complete to
Now by Kane Waller.
You're seeing Yale work up underneath of the linebackers for Harvard. And they're finding that little soft area up underneath the linebackers and just working it to death with guys like McNamara and the other guys you'll see out there are working that little soft area. And it's killing Harvard because they nickel and dime them to death.
Protection has been very good. That offensive line young, very young, but they're doing the job the last couple drives. Johnson down the sideline. Finally stopped at the 31-yard line. First down, Yale.
Now you say, well, what do you have to do? Well, you have to disrupt the pattern and the timing of the quarterback. If you don't do that, Randy, you're going to have a whole lot of trouble trying to contain this offense. Because right now, Joe Wallen is just smoking along.
From the 31-yard line, that Yale offense, again, they average 32 a game. Behind McNamara, and nearly intercepted.
Again, there's pressure off the edge that time on the blitz. And that was Mike Brooks who came in on the safety blitz. Natale was downfield making the play, and an opportunity for the pick. Watch the Yale quarterback, see how much time he has to throw the football, how comfortable he looks sitting back in that pocket. If too much time and too comfortable, that's trouble for the defense.
That one's knocked away. It was intended for Eric Johnson, but that was thrown into a lot of traffic. Brian Howard, number 93, nearly picked it off.
3rd and 10.
And you know how it is for the big guys. Brian Howard, another former linebacker, had an opportunity there. When the big guys get their hands on it, they get real excited.
3rd down and 10. Johnson with 13 receptions, the favorite target. That already ties the school record for one game. For McNamara, and he makes the grab at the 24-yard line, shy of the first down sticks.
But what a nice reception along that sideline by McNamara.
I don't think there's any doubt Yale will go for it. They've been very aggressive in these situations. It's 4th down, a short 3. The fans at the Yale Bowl on their feet.
Quick slant, maybe something with a pick outside.
Well, McNamara and Johnson have been getting open all game long. Here's another one. 1st down, Yale to Jake Ford.
You see the 3 receivers to the top. There was one pick, and there was a little out pattern. Jake Borden makes the reception for Yale. Nice offense.
Wallen has been the trigger man, hitting every key conversion. That one's deflected at the line of scrimmage. And it looked like Kazavensky, the blitzing linebacker, Isaiah Kazavensky. There he is, number 49, a finalist for the Buck Buchanan Award. That's the best Division I AA defensive player in the country. He's one of 16. And if he would get it, it would be well-deserved. He is a magnificent player. 2nd down and 10. Yale down 14-3, already has 1 touchdown, trying to erase the deficit. Jake Fuller was wide open.
He was as wide open as you get going down the sideline. It looked like maybe the corner, there was a release on the corner, and they thought that maybe they had deep help on the play. And no one really covered Jake until he got to the end zone. As you know, that's not the best time to try to cover somebody. You see right there's underneath. He releases him out to the secondary, and that was Kane Waller. He was kind of stuck in the middle. He had a guy underneath him, and this guy's flying over top. Take the guy over top.
Big 3rd down play. Double wing alignment. Throw for McNamara. Could not hold the ball at the 10-yard line. He was punished by Ben Green, and it's 4th and 10.
And it looked like Ben Green stuck his hand in there to knock the ball away.
Not appear that they're going to look for the field goal on 4th and 10. They're going to disdain with that attempt and go for it. Yale perfect on those conversions, 2 for 2 so far. 4th and 10 from the Harvard 20, down by 4.
Harvard needs a pass rush here. They've got to get to Joe Wallen and upset his rhythm.
For McNamara, no good. And the ball goes over on downs, and it was Isaiah Kazavensky applying pressure on Wallen. Still plenty of time, 3:47 left in the 3rd.
And to see how he applied that pressure, I call this his climb defense. Now watch him climb over that blocker right there and then try to get to that quarterback. But believe me, Joe Wallen can see that out of the corner of his eye when he's trying to make that pass downfield.
Dan, what about not going for the field goal on 4th and 10?
I think that they feel like it's a little bit of a shaky situation with the field goal kicking, particularly going into the wind. So that, I think, has made a difference in their decision-making process and whether or not they go for a field goal going to that end zone.
Of course, they had that field goal blocked and returned for a touchdown. Wilford throws incomplete. He's trying to set up a screen to Terrence Patterson. Let's go to the sideline and Christine Brennan.
All right, Randy, thank you. Here with Harvard Athletic Director Billy Cleary. You were cheering there a few moments ago. What was that all about?
Oh, boy, they've been throwing the ball the second half, and geez, I like to see that 4th and 10, and they didn't make it. So
this rivalry is not intense. No. Now, more important, the Love Story movie. Ryan O'Neal.
Oh, God, that's a long time ago.
Now, he didn't skate those scenes, did he? And who did?
Oh, no, I did a long time ago. A long time ago. That was 30 years, would you believe it? And we filled in for all those scenes. And it was great fun because we had all the Harvard kids doing it, too, and it was enjoyable.
And speaking of skating, 1960 Olympics, 20 years before the Miracle on Ice, there was another Miracle on Ice, and you were a part of it, weren't you?
Yes, that was in Squaw Valley. We won the gold medal in 1960, and hopefully we'll get another team to do it soon.
And talk about the actual conditions there. It was one of the last, I think it was the last Winter Olympic Games, actually, where it was not entirely indoors.
Well, I know, and I was telling someone that the other day they didn't realize that all the Olympic Games had to be played outdoors, and I thought it was so much fun. It's too bad it has to be indoors now because, you know, you had the elements to defend against. It could be snowing, it was very cold in some of those places, but it was a lot of fun when we did it, and I think the Squaw Valley might have been the last venue to have that outside.
And Bill, for those of us who spent a couple days here at Yale, last year at Harvard, we've noticed a distinct emphasis on intramural sports and much more athletics in the Ivy League. Would you agree, and why is that?
Oh, I think it's great. I think with testimony to that is yesterday we had the JV game. And very few schools have JV contests anymore, which I think is a shame because, you know, we're in business to give boys and girls an opportunity to compete. And we take great pride in giving both our men and women a great opportunity to compete. We have 41 sports. We have, I think, 1,500 intercollegiate athletes. And not everyone's going to play before this lovely crowd on a Saturday afternoon. But the ones that don't get just as much enjoyment and satisfaction and the things that you take out of sport as the kids that play here on Saturday afternoon.
All right, Bill. Well, Olympic gold medalist, movie star, Harvard athletic director, thanks.
And go Harvard.
All right, back to you guys.
And friend, I might add. Hey, Troy Jones, who hadn't carried the ball since the 3rd week of the season, has been busy in this drive for Harvard, number 4. Here's Wilford with the play fake. That one's no good.
It's wonderful to see Billy Cleary. You know, I saw him yesterday at the JV game, and I remember when I was a freshman at Harvard, he immediately tried to sign me up for the hockey team. He said, I just want you to stand in front of the net and scare somebody.
You'd be quite a defender, I would say, in hockey. That last pass intended for fullback Chris Stakic.
No, it's wonderful to watch what's going on both campuses. I drove around this campus today here at Yale because it hasn't been around in 20-some years with Jeff Orleans from the Ivy League office. And there's so many changes going on Yale's campus, and all to the positive.
And the coach outside, sprinting for first down yardage.
This drive, what has to happen here, Randy, is Harvard has to get back to its run game, its grinded out game, its burn the clock game. Watch Chucky as he gets to the sideline. Good blocking up front. They advance up the field. A nice little stiff arm there. Kind of reminded me of a guy I used to play football with in the pros. There's little Chucky.
You know what I like is the way they're using the 2 running backs, Troy Jones and Chuck Wakocha, alternating between the 2, keeping them both fresh.
Yeah, it's a change of pace type of a thing for the offense.
McGraw and Jones has stood up. Two minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. Harvard protecting a 4-point lead.
What a scene it was today outside the stadium with all the tailgating going on. And
tailgating started here, didn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. This is where it all got started. Yale Bowl.
They know how to party. Great atmosphere. And it is the game. Rivalry Saturday. Harvard leading Yale by 14-10. Wilford on the rollout. Lacocha can't catch up with it. Peter Sarantos was draped all over Brad Wilford.
Chris Sakic is a man that was in motion there, and you saw him standing in place, chopping his feet, trying to set himself up for the block because he knew he had to protect his quarterback to his left. And he just couldn't stay in front of the defender.
Yale looking for a defensive stop, down by 4. 3rd and 10 for quarterback Brad Wilford, who's gone the distance. Very good throwing the quick game, has been able to throw a little bit deeper today. Looking for a quick strike here, but he's pressured by Sarantos again. They have him for a sack. Number 90, Johnny on the spot, Peter Sarantos.
And Sarantos is another one of those guys who we talked about earlier that might have a chance on Sundays. He is outstanding at that linebacking defensive end position. 18 quarterback sacks coming into this game in his career. He's got great pursuit there. Just you saw him change direction and make the sack.
Giampaolo punting it away to Tomic. Returning to the 30. It took quite a pounding there.
Tomic is as tough as a $2 steak.
We mentioned tailgating before. We had our cameras outside to take a look at the party atmosphere. Are you ready for that steak, huh?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be holding that can of ignition fluid that close to the fire. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got your message. But oh, do they have fun here? Well, those cookies look pretty good. Love chocolate chip. Under a minute to play in the 3rd quarter. Wallen in the shotgun. Eric Johnson has just set a Yale record with his 14th reception. Zakarovich with the tackle. 14 catches, and we're not through 3 quarters.
That is absolutely amazing. And I remember when it happened back when we were playing. Gary Fensick was man-on-man against one of our defenders, and I believe he caught 12-13 that day for Yale. It's that personal performance. It's really been sensational.
But it all goes for naught if you don't win the football game.
That's exactly right.
Down to the final 15 seconds of the quarter. Looking for Fuller. That's a nice job of working the sideline by the captain, Jake Fuller. First down, Yale.
And what a throw on the run by Joe Wallen. See, that's where I think he's most dangerous, when he gets outside the pocket and gets on the move. He's throwing on the run here. It's like a javelin. He just flicks it out there in that corner to Fuller.
59% accuracy for Joe Wallen coming in. So given time, he will find his target. Waning seconds of the 3rd quarter. That ball's knocked away. Well, there's the disadvantage of Wallen. He's only 5'10". So some of his passes will get swatted down.
Well, one of the things you want to do as an offensive line is give a quarterback who may be vertically or challenged, you want to give him a chance maybe to find that passing lane and develop a passing lane for him.
Not unusual for Yale to go up top this much. 14-10 Harvard's lead. But Yale has been the aggressor since falling behind 14-3.
There's the line.
Johnson is wide open at the 35 to the 31-yard line, and that's how the 3rd quarter ends as Zakarovich makes the stop. 15 grabs through 3 quarters for Eric Johnson and Yale.
And here's what I was talking about the passing lane. Watch this lane open up. He can throw right in there. You see the lane, reception, first down.
The Yale Bulldogs are on the move. You see the record numbers for Eric Johnson. Harvard has led throughout this 2nd half, but Yale, as we go to the 4th quarter, will try to claim the lead.
Look, I know they can't hear me when I'm watching from here, but how can you get this close and not feel like you're right out there on the ice with them?
Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS and score with NHL Center Ice.
Oh, nice! Stick save, Arctic!
You'll see up to 30 out-of-market games every week, and you'll pay just $139.
Yes!
Reserve the hottest seats in the house for the coolest game on earth. NHL Center Ice on DirecTV.
Now that's how you do a backhand.
Premier League. The new season is here with a brand new look on Fox Sports World.
We go to the fourth quarter with Harvard leading 14-10, but Yale on the prowl, driving into Harvard territory. I guess the thumb doesn't bother Joe Wallen. He's already tossed the ball today a record 49 times through 3 quarters. 49.
Well, like I said, he's got 2 thumbs.
He must. That Novocaine really dead in the paint. Coach, I can throw it on every down.
Doctors are wonderful people, aren't they?
Oh, they're super. To the 31-yard line of Harvard. That's where Yale begins as we start the fourth quarter. That one's deflected and caught. Eric Johnson with his 16th catch. Wow, these are impressive numbers.
And they've been difference maker receptions.
50 pass attempts for Wallen, 16 receptions for Eric Johnson, yet they still trail.
The reason why is because most of those passes have been underneath the coverage, short, and trying to get a run after the catch.
Yeah, that was only a gain of 2. The deep ball for Fuller. Touchdown, Jake Fuller. 29 yards. That one was not underneath.
No, that was over the top.
Oh, Joe Wallen is showing moxie, isn't he?
Yes, he is. If you have to win a game, he's the guy you want at the controls.
Moravchik for the point after. The knuckleball is through. Your score is Yale by 17-14 as we take another look at that touchdown pass.
Willie Alford is going to have the coverage along with Ben Green deep. And Alford can't believe that that Fuller got in there and kind of slid in between them and made the reception. Another peek at it. You see Alford number 2. He releases Green to a large extent, and he thinks he has deep help, but he doesn't.
Fuller, the first wide receiver at Yale ever to be captain, and the captain gives the Bulldogs the lead.
Yeah, usually wide receivers are kind of selfish, so you wouldn't make him a captain, but he's the exact opposite.
Remember, he's the guy that started his career as the running back, was candidly not good enough to bring them to a championship level like a Bartholomew might be. And so they moved him out to the wide receiver position, and now you can see concern on the Harvard sideline. And the Yale side very much alive.
Now this thing gets to be fun. Fourth quarter of the Harvard-Yale game. Yale with a 3-point advantage.
Officially a 28-yard strike, 6 plays, 69 yards. Only took a buck and a quarter. And we have literally the entire fourth quarter to go. Patterson will not bring it out of the end zone.
Kickoff is down to the end zone.
Emotional swing, field position, all those things happen when your kicker is able to get that ball down in the end zone. Suddenly you win the field position war, and you're riding that high emotionally of having just scored.
Let's see what Harvard can do. Again, they're 5-4. They're 4 losses by a total of 15 points. They average 26 a game. Their offense has scored 1 touchdown today. Their special teams got the other one. Brad Wilford's come up with some big play. Can he move his clock? There's a throw to Patterson. He's to the 30-yard line and close to a first down.
And he got punished when he made that reception. That's the kind of play you look for out of your secondary. And one of the guys in there was Tom Joya, who was in on the play, along with Josh Phillips.
Good pocket protection to set up and throw the football. Fan Merrill was there as well. Quite a hitter in that secondary. Patterson is a breakaway threat, had a 77-yard touchdown last week. Wilford is not wrapped up. Throws underneath to Grady Smalling.
That was a 20-yard gain. Net one.
But again, the ability of Wilford to get out of the grasp of a would-be tackler.
He is very crafty back in the pocket. You see a couple of chances there. One of the people was Peter Maloney, who had a shot at him.
He is slippery, isn't it?
Yes, he really is. He slithered away.
You can see he's talking to his team. You like that leadership.
I'd be talking to him too, and tell him I want better protection from that offensive line.
You're not kidding. I want someone to block.
Let's get after somebody.
I've been running for my life. 13 minutes left. Yale by 3.
They're out of time.
Dead ball foul. Delay a game. Gets the offense 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. Still second down.
Well, Harvard's won 9 Ivy League championships. Of course, they won in '97 under Tim Murphy. They clinched it right here. Today they want to take one away from Yale. Wilford. That one intercepted. Beautifully done by Bill Thompson, the linebacker drifting back. He's the fastest and most athletic of the linebackers at Yale.
Bill just broke on the play and just makes a nice stab at it. Watch him get it. We talked about passing lanes earlier. Watch him get into this passing lane and knock this ball down. Right there, reaches out, pops down to the ground. Eitzman was the intended receiver.
Third down and 13. And Wilford will set up in the gun. Brown leading Columbia 16-6. Trying to take care of their business and earn at least a share of the crown. Wakocha short of the first down and a late flag, and that's going to cost Yale.
That's going to be 15 yards because Wakocha was actually on the sideline when the hit took place.
Wow, instead of punting, that's going to give Harvard a first down.
That's one of those oops plays. I didn't mean it, Coach. Once again, there's Wakocha on the sideline. He's out of bounds there, and it's Tomich that comes in and delivers the shot to him out of bounds. There's no question about that one. Our production staff is saying, who said Ivy League guys can't make mental errors?
Well, Ivy League guys have emotion just like everybody else.
All you have to do is walk out there in that field and take a couple of shots and you'll find that out.
What a break for Harvard. Let's see if they can capitalize. This one's going to be thrown downfield. Primarosa is interfered with.
And there is a flag on the play. Reception was made. Primarosa. He makes another outstanding catch. This one is a sliding, diving catch.
Only a freshman with wonderful hands. Came in with 17 catches. But he made the grab, so they'll wave off the flag.
Defensive pass interference is declined. It's the result of the play. First down.
Well, Harvard showing their mettle.
Halfback option. Let's go downfield. And you see Primarosa make the little stop and come back. And up to Troy Johnson. Nice move outside.
Troy Jones. Touchdown, Troy Jones. And Harvard reclaims the lead. 20-17 for the Crimson.
And maybe it goes all the way back to when Wilford was talking to his offensive line. Remember, he got the 5-yard penalty, delay a game. He was giving direction at that point, being a leader on the offense.
Giampaolo for the point after as Jones is mobbed on the sideline. Lines come together. Well, both teams showing you the desire and the moxie to come back and capture the lead, reclaim leads. Both teams fighting from behind on this one, and this is what the big game is all about.
And we were expecting one of those games, maybe like 9-7 like last year because of the defenses of both of these teams, but all of a sudden they both going on offensive explosions.
Procedure call on Harvard. Back Giampaolo up. This will be a 25-yard attempt on the PAT. Earlier, he had a 35-yard PAT. And to build the lead to 4. Roy Jones talking it up on the sideline.
Here's a play once again. They go outside, handoff to Jones. Hits up inside. Good blocking by his offensive line. Avoids a potential tackler there, and he's off to the races in the end zone. Nice dive for the touchdown.
Another look at Troy Jones, explosive to the outside, and he too is injury-free for the first time in a long time.
And what happened is Todd Thomas got pinned inside, couldn't take the pursuit to the edge, and as a result, well, the Harvard cheerleaders have to do a couple of push-ups.
They're all in good shape.
Jimmy Stokel, one of our great quarterbacks at Harvard, his daughter is one of the cheerleaders. She's in the freshman class along with my daughter, Lauren, who's sitting here beside me today.
Let us tell you that Harvard is leading by 21-17. And you want to introduce your daughter? There she is on the right.
Hello, Lauren. Stand up, Ryan.
Stand up and take a bow. Is she a beautiful lady or what?
I stand 6'5", she's 6'2".
I would imagine the Harvard volleyball fortunes are in good shape for years.
Well, I sure hope so. Most importantly, though, you know how the Ivy League is. I want to make sure she's hitting the books.
I think she's sitting next to you because you want to guard her. You don't want any of these guys around her.
You read my mind, my friend.
21-17. Patton to kick off. This has been a beauty in New Haven, Connecticut. Fuller, who just scored a touchdown return. And again, it's all about effort. And the Harvard on-rushing defenders get down on Fuller.
You know what happens?
Yale begins from its 25.
You know what happens here, Randy, is that suddenly a lot of players realize that, and particularly the seniors, realize this is it. This is the last chance we will have to play college football. And so all of a sudden that emotion starts to rise up and become a critical factor in the football game. You think it's good in the first quarter, the second quarter. Nothing like the fourth quarter, though.
Over 300 yards in the air for Joe Waller. He's having a big game in the game, but he has to get the W for Yale to be part of the championship team. And Nowinski and Sands sandwich him and take him down.
Nowinski was just grabbing everybody in sight. He takes the freshman David Farrell back to the quarterback, has a hold of his jersey, throws him aside, and decides to grab the quarterback, Joe Waller, for the sack. What a great play by Chris Nowinski, number 58. Continues the pressure, gets up under Farrell, takes him back to the quarterback, and just yanks him down to the ground.
Second down, 19. David Harvard has gotten to Wallen 4 times. In traffic, I'll say, there was triple coverage on the intended receiver, Tommy McNamara.
That was more traffic than we'll see on the expressway trying to get out of here.
For your sake, I hope so. I know you have a plane to catch. You have an NFL game to call tomorrow, but you have a great one to look at today with Harvard and Yale.
And I'll be doing battle with Gary Fensick. Tomorrow we'll have a little talk about the ball game.
I'm sure you guys will go at it. Third down and long for Wallen. The ball's caught on the far sideline by Jake Fuller, but well short of the first down. It's an aerial game for Yale. And this time they come up short and will have to relinquish the football.
You go back to that sack by Nowinski, and how big a play was that in terms of this field position battle that we've been talking about all afternoon. It brings up a play like this that's short on third down, and now Yale's in the position to have to punt. They practiced some fake punts yesterday at practice, and I would not be surprised to see them do that before this game is over.
By Patterson, and down inside the 15-yard line. Well, obviously, there's been a mood swing on the Harvard sideline, so let's check in over there with Christine Brennan.
All right, Randy. Well, first of all, Patterson just changed his contact lens. I did it right here in front of me, so that could be part of the problem with that punt return. But more important, guys, is the fact that when the Harvard defense was here, as Yale was moving the ball, or as Harvard's offense was moving the ball and scoring that last touchdown, the coaches were imploring several things. First of all, 60-minute game, 4 quarters. It sounds so basic, but we hear it all the time. And also keep your hands up. And they kept yelling that. They're going to throw the ball, keep your hands up. We're going to be able to bat down the ball. Again, elementary, my dear Watson, but it seems to be the right stuff, at least right now for Harvard. They're on a high, and I think Billy Cleary must be leading cheers down here. We saw his enthusiasm, and it carries over right now to the Harvard sideline. Back to you.
There's a very interested spectator, Chris Minnick, the injured running back. Reduced to a cheerleader today. You know, he wants his team desperately to win, and this is not how he wanted to spend his final game on crutches.
No, what a big loss it was for the Harvard offense. There's a guy that was extremely productive. See his numbers so far this season.
Penalties decline.
The key there, look at that average per rush. 5 yards per rush and 7 touchdowns.
Finished his career with over 3,300 yards. All-time leader. Second down and 10. But Wakocha and Jones have done a very nice job filling in for Chris Minnick. Wilford, his outlet is Jones. Jones is to the 21-yard line and is covered by the linebacker Bill Thompson.
Pass went to Jones.
They're keeping him busy out there in the flat, and if you miss a tackle, that can be a devastating situation for you in your defense.
3rd and 4.
Because suddenly that receiver is into your secondary.
3rd down and 4. Fans here exhorting the defense on. This is a pretty good 5-4 Harvard football team.
Indeed. We said that their losses have been by a total of 15 points. Which is some kind of an idea of what you're talking about.
Wakocha is close. Trying to drive it upfield. Again, it was cut down by Thompson, who had help from Josh Phillips.
All he had to do was get to the 25-yard line, and it looked like he made it. Let's see if they call for a measurement.
Yeah, the sticks are going to come in from the far sideline. Well, this Yale defense allows 15 points a game. Today they've given up 14. Remember, the other touchdown was a special team score.
There have been so many great games in this rivalry, and this one is just kind of falling right into that pattern of great football games. And with the 10 minutes and a couple seconds left on the clock, don't go away, or 9 minutes, 55 seconds left on the clock, don't go away, because this one always stays right down to the wire.
And especially with the striking ability of Sid Lecky's ball club, and with Joe Wallen coming back and throwing for over 50 passes in the game. To this juncture, you know that they're fully capable of putting it back in the end zone, but Harvard, to their credit, has responded to take the lead. Troy Jones again up the middle. Not only is he fast, he's a strong running back at 5'11" and 200 pounds. He's a senior from Richmond, Virginia.
And this is just what Harvard needs at this point, a run game to take some of that time off the clock, get down and get in position, maybe to get another score. But more importantly, you don't give Yale a whole lot of clock to come back in this ball game. This is when offensive linemen love it.
There's the final. Brown has won 23-6. Brown will have a piece of the championship no matter what happens today. So Yale looking for a share of the Ivy League championship. Brown 23-6 on Columbia. Jones goes to another first down. Here's some of the other scores today in college football in the Ivy League. Cornell, they have a pretty good football team this year, ahead of Penn 20-12. And Princeton by 5 on Dartmouth in the 4th quarter. And when you talk about rivalries, one must talk about Michigan and Ohio State, and the Wolverines have rallied. They were down at halftime. Now they lead by a touchdown.
Can you believe it? John Cooper's finally having a down year at Ohio State after sending about 9 or 10 guys to the pros for the last 4 years. Every year he loses about 9 or 10.
At Michigan only lost 2 games this year. They're coming on strong. The keeper by Wilford on 3rd and short.
This is a part of the philosophy now with under 9 minutes to go in the game, is to get that clock burned down, continue to get first downs, move the sticks, and hopefully by the end of your drive, the clock is burning up.
Well, this also gives the defense an opportunity to rest against that fast break offense of Yale. We're going to have another measurement. Of course, the Harvard players have already indicated it's a first down, and it looks to be, but we will have it measured. stretch it out. As anticipated, first down. Harvard turns it. Your score is 21-17 for Harvard. And Harvard able to run the ball effectively. Grind out a couple first downs. Jones looking to reverse it back to Patterson. That's well defended by Than Merrill. The transfer from Stanford, the biggest defensive back on the team. And stood his ground.
Yeah, and that's discipline, too, to stay in on the backside of a play, not start pursuing down the line of scrimmage, and get out of position where this play can tear you apart. You see right here, watch the position out there. Push the play out to the outside, then comes up and makes the stop.
End of 2, 2nd and 8. Patterson and Creed, flip-flop side. And that play never developed. The flag is down.
Harvard had about 15 guys on the field. 2 guys were trying to make their way off.
And we know they can count, so 15 is 2 minutes.
That's exactly right.
Well, the H&8 Ivy League standings, Brown, for the time being, as their 6th victory in 7 starts, has the lead in the conference and a share of the championship. Will they get an outright crown? Only if Yale falls today to Harvard. And Harvard has the lead, but they're looking at 2nd and 13. 7:26 remains in the game. Wolford pass is batted down. Tuzzolino. I don't know. This guy is so tough.
It's amazing to watch him. Again, I call him like a Tasmanian devil type of a player because he's low to the ground. Watch him in the middle of your screen. Number 20 gets the penetration, just throws that offensive lineman away and knocks the ball down.
He did that with force. I mean, he was on top of the ball. You know, sometimes you have to lunge to get to the ball. He was right there.
He's 6'1", 220 pounds. But he is vicious when he's rushing the passer.
Quick and agile.
Justin Stark was the man he was working against.
3rd down and long for Wilford, who guns it incomplete and nearly picked off by Ben Blake, the free safety. There's number 3. Thought he had the ball.
Now you can feel that emotional tide swing back and forth, and it appears to be on the blue sideline right now.
All Ivy League candidate Ben Blake, honorable mention all league last year. Oh, Yale down by 4 with 7:17. Forces Harvard and Giampaolo to punt, and that's a beauty. Tomic from his 30. Flag is down, and so is Todd Tomic.
Yeah, and that's going to be an additional 15, 10 to 15. If you can see their back, don't hit them. That's the idea.
We are going to step aside. This one's going down to the wire. Your score is Harvard by 21-17.
Who wears speed vision? It's guys who put it all on the line. Guys like Andy Green, who can't go fast enough, and Alan Shepard, who did all of his best driving on the moon. Think of Kenny Roberts grinding the toe off his boot, the Intimidator, and those guys with the right stuff. But you get the point. So turn on speed vision. Where men are men, and insurance agents are nervous.
At the NBA Moms 3-on-3, Shaq's mom dominates.
I don't know how they're going to beat her.
But anyone who watches NBA League Pass knows there's only one possible way to stop a Shaq.
Put her on the line.
NBA League Pass on DirecTV brings you the matchups and players you want with up to 40 games a week. Call 1-800-GET-SPORTS, and for just 4 payments of $42.25, you can spend some quality time with your NBA family.
If only you listen to your mama.
Joe Wallen out of the gun, just hit Jake Borden for 8 yards. It's 2nd down and 2. Down to 6:40 left. Wallen again throwing the ball. Going underneath to Tommy McNamara. Stopped by Ben Green and Aaron Natali.
Chances are the Harvard defense will give that to you. It's short, number 1. It's in the middle of the field, number 2. And it keeps the clock moving, number 3.
But it does move the chains. First down, Yale. There's Kazavensky. You know, he'd like to get to the quarterback in a critical situation.
I can guarantee you that's on his mind.
Ryan one another. Wallen misses. Jake Fuller threw it behind him. Well, those coordinators and assistant coaches are talking a lot on the sideline.
They're talking about the fact that, you know what, you have to stay, number 1, alert if you're talking about the defense. But offensively, when they get back in, keep that ball moving. We're going to go to the run game. And we're going to try to use up the rest of that clock. But protect the football. And the guys up front have to get aggressive and get after some people.
Second down and 10 for Wallen. Johnson with another catch short of the first down at the 37.
But it gives his offense a whole lot of options when you talk about 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
Well, he took quite a pop from roverback Mike Brooks. 3rd down and 2. Gain of 8 on that throw.
He'll be spending a little time in the jacuzzi tomorrow.
I think the left arm will be in a whirlpool for Wallen. How many times he's thrown it? Here's another completion to Johnson. He was down the sideline. First down to the 36-yard line. Kazavensky chased him out of bounds, but Eric Johnson continues to build on his record performance at Yale.
I just had a feeling on that play that Eric Johnson was indeed moving before the ball was snapped. You see, he's got a new Ivy League record, but he was rolling forward before that ball was snapped. Good reception there, and it's an Ivy League record, 18 receptions in the ball game. That's unbelievable.
Borden near side has it at the 31-yard line. Zakarovich shoved him out of bounds.
Zakarovich on the coverage.
Once again, Yale displaying patience on offense, not necessarily going for the big strike, but just working their way down the field very patiently.
Plenty of time, better than 5.5 minutes. Yale looking to erase the 4-point deficit. Joe Wallen calling the play out right at the line.
Yeah, he's checking out of whatever he had called. That ball's on the ground.
Forced to fall, and it's back at the 41-yard line. Well, the center, the freshman David Farrell, one of the rare errors this year by the young, talented freshman out of Nashville, Tennessee.
Coaches love him here at Yale. They think that he's a guy, as we were saying earlier, that could be a Rhodes Scholar. He's a really sharp young man, but sometimes that shotgun gets you in a little bit of trouble.
Cost his team 10 yards with that errant snap. And they pick it up on 3rd and long.
He's got the time now. He's running out.
Rolling to his left. Owens intercepted. Kane Waller picked it off for Harvard.
Kane Waller was standing on the street corner, look, waiting for a bus, I guess, and the ball just comes into his hands. He's standing on the sideline in front of the Yale bench, and as Waller tries to get rid of the football so he won't lose additional yardage, this ball just goes right into Kane Waller's hands. You see the defense kind of floating along, and then here's Kane Waller. He goes, hey, man, this is great. It could also be the football game.
4:51 remains, and Harvard starting to believe they have Yale by the neck. The senior Kane Waller, one of 23 senior on that Crimson roster.
Now let's watch how many Yale puts in the box. They're putting 7, 8 in the box.
Wilford throwing that inside screen to Patterson for just a couple. Well, you got to like the fact that Harvard is not sitting on the lead.
Right, you know, because I fully expected them to come out and just go straight to the ground game. But maybe they thought that they could get additional yardage by going to that little wide receiver on the screen.
Well, the coaches in a chess match, only a gain of 1. (21-17), the Crimson trying to deny Yale a share of the Ivy League championship. Jones stood up for a short gain. Linebacker Jeff White with the stop.
And Yale's not being fooled by Harvard trying to spread the field a bit with the wideouts. They're just still loading up between the tackles.
This becomes a huge play on 3rd down. Yale down by 4. Desperately needs the ball back. No one's sitting at the Yale Bowl in New Haven, Connecticut. Everybody on their feet. The pitch for Kocha. Lost the ball, thrown down by Peter Sorrentos.
We talked earlier in the game about Peter Sorrentos and his ability to fly all over the field and make plays. This is a reason why pro scouts are interested in what this young man might be able to do.
Well, Yale will get the ball back. Todd Tomich set to return, standing back at his 30-yard line.
And maybe now you live to regret having taken that first pass and maybe not burning up enough clock with 3:10 or 3:09 left to go.
Giampaolo with an excellent punt. Tomich returning from his 27. Fumble!
He recovered it. It looked like he recovered it.
Tomich did get it back. Well, you're a pretty good spotter, Dan. I don't know how you caught onto that quickly, but Tomich was there.
You know, it's like body language. You can tell when guys are digging for it.
Right.
Said he doesn't have it. Another look at Tomich on the punt return. Right, he was hanging that ball out a little loosely right there. It gets picked out. But he made the nice recovery. A couple of Harvard players had a shot at it, but
one of them was Kazavensky. Excellent field position, starting from the 42-yard line. Still plenty of time for Joe Wallen.
Harvard mixing up their defensive fronts right now, and that's why Wallen's looking and checking off.
Batted down.
Big play. Huge play by Kazavensky.
Well, the two football coaches, Sidlecki on your left, Murphy on your right, very close buddies. And Tim Murphy earlier expressed to us his relationship with Jack Sidlecki.
Well, we're good friends. We've roomed together for a year as assistant coaches down in Pennsylvania. But the bottom line is we're both competitors. And, you know, he's a good friend. But tomorrow, you know my buddy. My buddies are wearing crimson and white, so that's the way it goes in the Indians.
Well, that was a good catch by Jake Fuller. And Sidlecki on the sideline was right there when the ball was caught. I'm sure that Jack feels the same way. He'll echo the same sentiment of Coach Murphy. Well, it's Harvard and Yale. It's the game, and it's going to the wire. From the Crimson 45, Joe Wallen in the gun.
What a great play by Joe Wallen.
Gordon has a first down to the 32-yard line, wrapped up by Kane Waller.
Watch him avoid the rush here and just flick the ball back to his right. This was an incredible effort by Joe Wallen. He's under pressure here, drops back. See the pressure right there, just steps back around, flicks the ball back to his receiver.
First down at the 32-yard line. Harvard by 21-17. 63 attempts for 415 yards for Joe Wallen. Johnson at the 20. Stepped out of bounds back at the 21-yard line by Mike Madden.
Again, you get Joe Wallen out of the pocket on the run, working the edge, and you got problems.
This is a memorable performance by both Eric Johnson and quarterback Joe Wallen.
Eric Johnson's just off the hook today. I mean, that's the kind of effort you'll never see again probably in a Harvard-Yale game.
He's off the scales. Johnson in the slot on the right. Too high for Fuller. Coverage from Willie Alford.
Fuller brings up second 10 from the 20-yard line. As you No, Yale needs a touchdown to be in position to win the football game. Did it surprise you when they last scored, that they did not attempt a 2-point conversion?
No, I think they're confident that they can score. I just think they're so confident. You can see again, 40 completions, the Ivy League record. And again, it's just a magnificent and memorable performance by these seniors from both sides. Wallen, Kazavensky. Kazavensky after Wallen, and Wallen travels to the 20, to the 15, and leaps down to the 13-yard line. Tackle secured by Kane Waller after he was tripped up by Chris Nowinski. Joe Wallen doing everything he can to try to bring his team to the pinnacle, the Ivy League championship. 3rd and 3.
And you know where he'd probably like to go again, to number 21.
A minute and a half remains. Harvard by 4. Wallen will tuck it under. And is very close to a first down.
R.D. Kern was the first guy in to get a hand on him. Slowed him down.
And again, the chains will come in from that far sideline.
Isn't this a beautiful part of the game right now? 1:22 left to go. Yale on the 10-yard line.
Will it be 4th down or will it be 1st and goal? Well, the way they spotted the ball, they could theoretically get another first down because it's not tickling the 10. First down. First and 10 and a few inches. A very pensive Harvard sideline. Electricity on the Yale side. This one has been magnificent from start to finish. Speaking of finish, that's what Yale would like to do right here. The clock is running. 1:15 remains for Joe Wallen and that wide open offense. Johnson inside the 5. Tackled by Ben Green.
Green made the tackle.
To the 4-yard line, it's 2nd down. Johnson, 20 catches in the game. That's right, 20.
Yale continuing to pressure, not allowing the Harvard defensively to make many adjustments with personnel.
2nd down, 4 needed for a Yale touchdown. Final 35 seconds. For the end zone. Touchdown! Touchdown, Aaron Johnson!
Harvard players say that he picked the ball off the ground. The officials say touchdown.
Isn't it fitting that it would be Wallen to Johnson? I believe that's his 21st catch of the day, and number 21 is a record setter and a game winner unless Harvard can do something out of the ordinary.
What a great play.
Moravchik for the extra point. Your score, Yale by 24-21.
Let's look at it. See if Eric Johnson, when he makes the reception, what position is he in that end zone? The ball was tipped. Looks simultaneous to him going to the ground. From an official, that's a very, very difficult call to make. Not very difficult for Coach Sedlecki. You see that it looks like he's catching the ball and he has his hands on each end of the ball just as he's going to the ground in the end zone. At any rate, it's a touchdown. Yale leads the game 24-21 with 29 seconds remaining.
Well, Harvard needs to get Jim Paulo into field goal range. And they don't have a whole lot of time remaining. They do have the dangerous Terrence Patterson. 9 plays, 58 yards, the 4-yard touchdown to Johnson.
And if you're Yale, obviously you just don't kick it away to Patterson. You put the ball on the ground on a squib kick and try to make them make a move after they have to pick it up off the ground. So it won't go to Patterson. You won't get that big run back based on the timing.
We have confirmed 21 receptions for Eric Johnson. lot of records being broken, but Yale's thinking about the championship. Those records will be sweeter if they win, obviously. They keep it on the ground. They want to keep it away from Patterson, one of the up backs. Guess who got it? Isaiah Kazavinsky. And Eli Kelly wrestles him down.
He's trying to find the ground, and they won't let him down. They're trying to use up as much of that clock as possible.
21 seconds remain. Brad Wilford's played well. You can see Harvard's got all 3 timeouts, so they can direct the pass anywhere on the field. A beauty in the ancient 8 today. Really, there are no losers in an event like this. Wilford being chased by Sorrento. Caught outside the 40-yard line. A quick timeout by Harvard with 10 seconds to go.
And here's the deal. With 10 seconds to go, you work the sideline deep. You figure you're going to burn 4 to 5 seconds on a deep route. You have your receiver get out of bounds, and maybe then you can take a shot at the end zone, because I don't know if you're ever going to get into field goal position.
Well, Carl Morris, the freshman who they like a lot, made a nice grab there. Measurement again to see if it's a first down. And I think they'll throw to the middle of the field and try to get into field goal range.
And then have to use one of the timeouts, but that's going to be, well, that's going to be awfully difficult.
Well, they don't have a lot of
miracles have happened in these ball games.
Not a lot of great options here, but Harvard is not out of this thing. They do have 10 seconds and the 2 timeouts remaining. And a 3 would send it into overtime. I don't think we've had an overtime game in the Ivy League this year.
And I know with a flight waiting, I'm not ready for one today.
Well, the drama's building, and Harvard's going to re-huddle. Jack Sidlecki. Excruciating for him on the sideline, and I'm sure it is the same way for his buddy on the other side, Tim Murphy. Brad Wilford, who's played a good football game at quarterback.
Yeah, he certainly did, and we talked about his escapability earlier. He said the folks in the Ivy League didn't care about football.
It's an incorrect statement. Final 10 seconds. First down at the 45. Sorrento's chasing Wilford. There's the Hail Mary downfield. Yale has picked it off. This game is over. Let's go to Christine Brennan.
All right, I'm here with Joe Wallen. Joe, you set 2 league records today, but how does that compare with the drive and the victory here?
You know, the last drive, that kind of sums up our whole season. You know, we've always come through in the clutch, and that's what we did today when it counted, and with the Ivy League championship on the line, and couldn't be more proud of my team.
Were you at all concerned? Obviously, Harvard played a great game. Were you concerned with the last few minutes to go, and obviously you were still behind?
Yeah, I was a little bit concerned. You know, you're always going to be concerned being behind, and, you know, you just got to keep your poise and be relaxed and, you know, just play your game, and that's what we did in that last drive, and we were able to execute, and we did a good job.
And your emotions right now?
I can't describe them. I feel on top of the world, and I'm glad that we're Ivy champs.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Back to you guys.
Well, classic war has been won by the Yale Bulldogs. They share the championship rings this year. 24-21 for Yale. We'll come back. There's still more festivities. The Bulldogs get by the Crimson.
This month on Stars.
You have something they want. I don't have anything.
It's movies, new hit movies.
I blew up the building. Why? Because you made a phone call.
More new hit movies in prime time.
Things are looking up, Birdie.
Movies you'll see first on Stars, only on Stars. Don't miss these great movies on Stars.
Thank you for tuning in. And remember, let go, give in.
Want to watch your favorite players' favorite players?
I like to watch Steve Young.
After every throw, he holds his hand like this, and, you know, it's picture perfect.
Order NFL Sunday Ticket right now and get the rest of the '99 regular season, plus all of the 2000 regular season for just $189.
I like to watch Dan Marino.
Dan Marino succeeds in a ski boot.
It's the quick release. I mean, it's so fast.
Get up to 13 games every Sunday through next season with NFL Sunday Ticket.
You watch this game long enough, you see it all.
We are determined to deliver the best entertainment.
Some very powerful words.
Yes. HBO The Works brings you massive movies, original series, provocative documentaries.
What you stand for, is that right?
Oh, that's right.
Exclusive sports, and shows for the whole family.
I'm Henny Penny, and that's the scoop.
Go for our 7 big channels packed with excitement. There's always a thrill on DirecTV.
And another great Bulldog moment on this one. Wallen, the deflected ball. Johnson with the magnificent catch. 21 catches, Ivy League record, and an Ivy League championship for the Bulldogs.
A day he will never forget. Number 21. What a fabulous day he had.
Wallen to Johnson will live forever at Yale in a 24-21 victory over arch rival Harvard. Harvard falls to 5-5, 3-4. They lose 5 games by 18 points this year. Yale wins its 9th in a row, closes out 9-1 and 6-1 in the Ivy League, tied with Brown.
And an Ivy League championship for those seniors. I can tell you from experience, it's a great way to wind up your college career. You always look back on those days very, very fondly when you are on this field of play.
Who says 13 isn't a lucky number? 13 seniors help win the 13th championship, either shared or outright. And let's pay great tribute to the 23 seniors that played for Harvard. They played their guts out, their hearts out. It was a gut-wrenching loss for Harvard, but for Yale, what a performance, what a clutch performance. They were down throughout the second half, and Joe Wallen kept bringing them back despite a placement that was blocked and returned for a touchdown. They're able to overcome that and win the game. I want to thank my spotter, Micah Bennett. I want to thank everybody in the truck, everyone at DirecTV, our great staff at DirecTV, Fostone Productions. Harvard falls. Yale is the champion. This touchdown for Dan Jiggets and Christine Brennan. I'm Randy Rosen. This memory for Yale, this championship for Yale, the final score from New Haven. It is Yale 24 and Harvard 21. Good afternoon, everybody.